X's and O's going to look like offensively and defensively? What are the changes, the differences that the Boomer fans will see this year?
Well, the first and foremost thing that he preaches, of course, win, lose, or draw, he wants to be disciplined. That's what he wants from his guys, to be disciplined in all phases of the game, from the fundamentals on up. And that's not only on the field, of course, that is off the field, in the locker room, in the school, leading the way in the community. That's very important to him. And then offensively, they're going to go spread this year. It's not going to be necessarily in tight and, trying to run downhill like we've seen in years past. They're going to try to get people in space and maximize the athletes that they have defensively. That part where, not too much of a change. You're still going to see a good crop of linebackers that they'll try to utilize, try to get mean and nasty up front with, about a four-man front, three linebackers, then your safeties and DBs over the top. So, it's about being physical, it's about being disciplined, no matter the circumstances for Ken Gordon and crew.
No secret, the Boomers were somewhat disappointed with the outcome of last year. 20 successful but one time, and not necessarily that's going to change around that dramatically. In that new system, new coaches, we all have to remember that you need to be patient with those type of things. But realistically, do you have a handle on the expectations for this Boomer football team, what they want to do?
I think it's very much, growth game to game to start out with. CJ, this was a team that has 25 freshmen on it out of about 63 kids. And we heard from Kirk Province, who TV side of things, this unopted course of freshmen is going to be one of those of probably about maybe near up to 18 that might see some time tonight. So a youth movement, so to speak. Some of your better players are in the sophomore and junior class. So I think it is really about that game-to-game growth. They're not going to necessarily put a floor on it, but their goal, and we heard from a couple players, Ace and Peyton Carter Wednesday night, they do want to go win. They want to go have that win in the season. They understand, like I said, not necessarily going to happen just boom all at once, but they definitely are going to push every single game. I think you could tell the focus from the guys this year is on that. They are really tuned in for what we can
see. Who's your sidekick? Dakota helping you with the broadcast tonight, Mr. Wagner?
Yes. I'm having fun up here already.
Dakota made reference to some of those players that were excited to get the football season underway. Who are some of the guys that we'll be hearing their names called quite frequently? Or who are the Boomers going to, and I know the number's 22, but who specifically are the Boomers going to rely on to kind of get things moving and shaking again?
Last year Ace Long was a freshman that stepped up, and now he's a sophomore. He's put on about 30 more pounds of pure muscle, and he's going to be our running back, so we're going to look to give him ball tonight. Then you're going to have a freshman receiver. His name's Colt Moore. He also plays defensive back. I think he stands at 6'1", and he has a really good vertical, so he may be able to get some good catches. And then you're going to have our quarterback, Ryan Douglas Fisher, started late in the season last year after Sam Cheap went down with a leg injury and kind of picked up the slack. He found his way towards the end of the season, making some good passes, getting hang of things, and I think now he's kind of more ready than ever. Coach Gordon's really kept up on him. And then we have Peyton Carter, nose tackle. He's really good. He's a senior this year. He's improved from last season, and I honestly think he's going to have a good game as well.
Guys, have a great broadcast over on Z92. Now, it's my understanding, obviously you'll be on the radio on 92.3, but your audio, if you will, the call of the game will be simulcast or on Boomer TV, where folks can watch that as well. Is that correct? Tell us about that.
Yes, sir. That is on their YouTube channel. You search Boomer TV YouTube. On YouTube, find that, and as you mentioned, we'll have our audio over their video. Kirk Province, Chris Godwin head that up. Coach Godwin now the boys soccer coach, and they do a phenomenal job. Have a couple of students help out and try to get things rolling there and give you not only the audio side of it, but the great visuals as well to encapsulate everything, all the action on a Friday night there. So we're very appreciative of them for sure.
That's Title Riggs, Dakota Wagner. We're going to break away and let You guys get underway here when back we come in a few with your pregame festivities over on Z92, 92.3, and Boomer TV. Let us step aside closer to kickoff. Still plenty of time, my friends. Get out and support young people across Oklahoma, Kansas, and Texas. Games kicking at 7, 7:30, and 8 tonight. Back we come in just a few. It's game night on a football Friday night.
Attention, Fall Days Fall Expo exhibitors. Booth space is now available. It's the K101 and Z92 Fall Home and Business Trade Show, and it's coming to the Woodward County Event Center and Fairgrounds October 20th, 21st, and 22nd. Now in our 36th year, this fall show features 2 exhibitor buildings plus outside exhibitor space, and will host an extensive variety of products and services, including home improvement ideas, appliances, farm and ag equipment, construction, clothing, communication, and entertainment products, ATVs, furniture, automobiles, hunting gear, and ammo, plus arts and crafts. Thousands annually rely on Fall Days Fall Expo to see a wide variety and selection of products and services that only a show this size can offer. Booth space is now available by calling 580-256-4101. That's 580-256-4101. Reserve your space today for the Tri-State's largest fall home and business trade show and be part of Fall Days Fall Expo 2023. Coming to the Woodward County Fairgrounds Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, October 20th, 21st, and 22nd. It's food, folks, and fun with K101. This is Woodward Boomer Football on News Talk Sports Z92, the home of the Woodward Boomers. With the call of tonight's game, here's Tyler Riggs.
Hello. On this beautiful, albeit a bit hot, football Friday night in Woodward. Dakota Riggs with you as we get set for the Boomers to open their season here at home at Boomer Stadium. Crowd's already feeling nicely. We got a band lined up. They're ready to go. Got cheerleaders dance out here. You know, there's no better time for the start of the football season, is there?
I mean, it feels like it's been so long since we were back in this booth having a good old time, and I'm glad that me and you are back at it.
Yeah, we've done a lot since then, right? Basketball season, got through some of baseball there in the spring. We started on softball, and before our football broadcast got underway, and they're having a good season as well. We'll mention that here in a little bit. But, you know, important for the Boomers tonight, not only your season opener, but the first game of the Ken Gordon era coming over from Alva. As a defense coordinator last 5 years, he's coaching Stokes College after being a star college football player at Northwestern Missouri State, where he was an all-star linebacker, and has brought his guys in and installed their system. A couple, you know, holdovers in terms of assistance for the Boomers on their staff. But Dakota, we've had the privilege to talk to Gordon a few times now, and boy, this is a guy that I think is really excited to be here, and really, you know, he knows it's going to take a minute, or could take a minute, but he's excited to have a chance to try to get this program really going.
You know, a lot of coaches, when they first come to a program, trying to figure things out, you know, it takes a long time to, you know, find players, try to get players into the program, get them joined, be a part of something. But him, you know, he comes here and he just starts right away. He starts working with the guys that he has and what he has, and he just adds to it as time goes on. But I'm glad to see what he's made these guys do. He's getting them more physical. He's getting them more beefed up in the weight room. He's making their physical and mental game way better. This is a guy that has completely, in my eyes, has changed the program, and I think he's changed it for the better. He's doing an awesome job, and I'm excited to see what he's going to do tonight.
Well, and you mentioned, you know, changing things and just the guys getting excited. You know, we've talked to a few of them, and we'll get to more of that here in a minute, but they seem focused. You know, they seem lasered in on clear what the mission is, right, and what they want to accomplish. You mentioned the weight room. One perfect example of that, Ace Long, and we talked about before of what he brings to it, but obviously had a fantastic freshman season last year, fell 12 yards short of 1,000. He was about 110, 190, somewhere there, stout 185. He's listed at 220, and he looks every bit of it coming into the season.
You know, we had him on the coaching show, and we asked him if he was excited for the football season. He said yes. He has been more excited, I think, to play football than he has ever been, along with Peyton Carter. You know, he's really pumped up for tonight as well. All these guys are getting so excited to play this game, and I haven't seen these guys excited since I don't know when.
Yeah, they're fired up. There's no doubt about it, and we'll talk more about kind of the younger side of things with this team. Going to lean heavily on freshmen, sophomore, junior classes. We'll get into all that here in a bit. First, though, and we mentioned that coach's show. We'll come back with highlights and talking with Ace Long, Peyton Carter, that was our football boys guest, and head coach Ken Gordon. We'll hear all that on the other side of the break. You're listening to Boomer Football, both on Boomer TV and Z92.
You tackle an endless to-do list every day. It may seem like a thankless job, but you know better. It's the little things that matter most. That's why you'll appreciate the enduring value of the Michelin Defender tire. Designed for doers like you, Michelin's longest-lasting tire keeps you on the go longer, so you have one less thing to worry about on your next road trip. Stop in today for miles of uncompromised safety and performance. Visit your local Michelin dealer, High Plains Tire, at 2220 Main in Woodward.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
Stop. That dog does not want to be petted.
A heads up before something bad happens.
You should not send that text.
Uh-oh. Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes, you can reverse prediabetes and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. To learn your risk, take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Over the past few years, the COVID-19 pandemic has affected how we live our daily lives. Today, we also face a mental health pandemic that threatens our well-being as we attempt to rebuild our social networks and communities.
The pandemic has reminded us to value family, community, and our human connections. However, it has also left many of us feeling more isolated, confused, and alone, struggling to find meaning amid loss and uncertainty.
Today, 1 in 5 Americans experience emotional and mental health challenges, but many of us do not understand what we are facing or know how to ask for help.
At the American Psychiatric Association Foundation, we understand what you are going through, and we are here to help. Our vision is to build a mentally healthy nation for all. We work every day to eliminate stigma, combat mental illness and substance use disorders, and you are not alone. Please visit mentallyhealthynation.org to learn more.
Welcome back to the Boomer pregame show here on Z92. The following clips are highlights and comments from our football guests that appeared on the Boomer Coaches Show this past week on Wednesday at Long Shots Bar and Grill. The player representatives of the football team were sophomore running back Ace Long and senior nose tackle Peyton Carter. And of course, you will hear also from head coach Ken Gordon. First up, Ace and Peyton. I do want to start with you here as far as the question goes. Senior this year, what are, some of the things, at least on the field, going to be like for you as a senior? Does anything change? Does anything feel different? And how do you know it basically encompasses you being the lead guy on that defensive line to try to set that tone?
I just got to take leadership in what we do and bring people up when they do something wrong, and just a bigger leadership problem.
Now, when they say leadership, are you one of those, are you trying to lead by example to young guys, or is it something where you're a bit more vocal? I mean, how are you trying to approach that?
A little bit of both.
Right. Get a mix in there for sure.
Yeah.
And then as far as just regular high school wise, what's it like to be senior year now? You're running the school, man.
Less classes.
That's okay. That's the thing. Can't blame him for that one. Ace, looking at you here on things, of course, you were primary offensive weapon last year. We talked about, just a few yards short of 1,000. Really kind of splashed on the scene there as a freshman. Now things change offensively from in tight, or what's coming before the snap, to it's a spread system. You're going to be moved around a little bit within that, and given some opportunities. Chance for guys to also work off that. What do you think that's going to be like now, maybe going to a complete kind of 180 offense?
I think it's going to be a lot better. We're not blocking straight up this year. We're trying to blocking at an angle, and it puts less stress on our line. And it does get everybody more involved, and it also gives me the chance to go out in the slot and try to catch a few passes as well. How's
the hands? Hands good. Peyton, is he lined? Has he got stone hands, or he's got some soft hands?
No, just because he's my teammate. He has great hands.
Wow. Oh, okay. Okay. So last week, your opponent, Guthrie, got their season started against Ponca City there in Jonesboro Stadium in Guthrie. You guys, after the beat the Boomers, there at Boomer Stadium, went over, I believe, to Ace's house, actually, and kind of watched that game, but more so as well, got kind of a bonding opportunity with the team. What was that like? What shenanigans went on there that we'd say on air?
It was a really good bonding experience. I don't know how much film was actually watched, but that Sunday we went in with the coaches and they really broke down the game, and I think we got a really good understanding of what they're going to bring.
Sure. But you mentioned how much, not a lot of football watch Friday night. What did you guys do?
We watched the first half of the game.
What did you guys do that? I mean, to be fair, it was over after the first half, really. But, did you guys just hang out? That's what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all pitched in and brought money, and we got some pizzas and some cookies and stuff.
Okay.
And people were messing around with people's cars. And
oh,
stuff.
no.
Just high school stuff.
High school stuff. Okay, there we go. That's good. Ace, you mentioned Sunday you guys really cracked down on the film side with Guthrie. What did you guys learn about them as far as, has anything really changed? We know they're going to be big and physical up front. You guys have seen that in the time you played them. They're going to try to run the ball defensively. They're going to try to play mean and nasty. Is that what we expect out of them come Friday, or is there something that you guys picked up on that maybe you could attack?
No, they're just going to do the same thing they did last year.
Okay.
They are just going like a straight man on D, so they're going to bring 5, they're going to put 2 in the box, and they're going to play straight man on our receivers. So if our receivers can break, I don't know, if they can beat them deep, we got that, but we also got the slant routes and the post.
So what do you think, Ace of Mine, from the offensive side is the biggest key? Is it just trying to, make them pay the man defense, if you will?
We got
on what you have to do on the defensive side to be able to slow down Guthrie?
The line and linebackers just can't run downfield and
And now we turn it.
Okay.
So, it's been awesome. They're running some of the same things. Running. We got our hands on up now. We really got our hands on the middle school, and Coach Long, DJ.
Been part of something like that before, and that is, when it gets going, it is something. Coach, focus on the matchup this week real quick. Guthrie, we know, is going to be a physical team. They're big up front. They always are. They're going to run the ball, pound that rock, and really try to play stingy defense. Ace was talking about offensively. You guys are going to try essentially maybe do your best, try to punch them a little bit for that, over pressure they bring, that loaded box. What are some of the other keys in your mind to try to get out there and come away with the win if you can't against
team. You know, you can't have turnovers. You can't have assignments. You know, you have to play assignment football. You know, and if you can do that, you want to at least give yourself a chance. You know,
Absolutely.
and against a team like Guthrie, where they're big up front, where they got good skilled players, where they have a good quarterback, you know, where they have a program established at Guthrie. That's just what they are right now.
Right.
You know, they got a good program established. They're where we're trying to get to, you know, and that's what we're trying to establish here in Woodward, you know. But what I like about it is we get to see what an established program looks like.
Right.
You know, we get to see that. How do we compete against that? You know, where are we at? How far have we came? So we get to see that on Friday night. You know, and I'm looking forward to it. And I told the guys that they should be looking forward to it. Don't be scared of Guthrie. We're not going to be scared of them. You know, we're going to go out there and compete, you know. But at the same time, though, you know, we can't go out there and beat ourselves. And as coaches, we can't go out there and get out coached.
Absolutely.
We got to at least help those kids out. You know, we got to put them in the right position, you know, give them a chance to play. Like I tell them, our job as coaches is to put them in the right position. Their job as players is to make that play. We can't make the plays for them.
Right. Sometimes you wish you can, but it can't be that way.
Yep.
And so I guess your biggest goal then Friday night is first and foremost, like you said, you want to see those guys stand up to that challenge and play without fear, no matter the result.
Exactly. I mean, they put their pants on, they put their shoes on, they put their socks on, they put their jersey on, they put their pad, just like we do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Same thing. Hey, football's football. You know, now it's how you go out there and how do you respond to get hit in the mouth? Because you're going to get hit in the mouth. I mean, that's not over-exaggerated. We're going to get hit in the mouth.
Right.
How are we going to respond? Are we going to hit them back? All right, or are we just going to take it? And so that's been my challenge to them is how are we going to respond when they hit us in the mouth? Because guess what? If we hit them in the mouth and we could hit them in their heels, that from Woodward, they're going to be kind of like, whoa.
Right.
And then now we got to get something started, you know. So you want to try to surprise them by doing that because they're not expecting us to come out there and be physical. You know, they're not expecting that. They're expecting them to come out there and be physical. You know, but they're not expecting Woodward to come out there and be a physical football team.
With that, we want to salon Peyton Carter and head coach Ken Gordon for stopping by on Wednesday with us there at the Coaches Show at Long Shots. This time, we do want to remind you as well, every week here throughout the school, you find us on Z92 from 6 to 7 on Wednesdays and hear a variety of guests throughout all the Woodward High School programs, of course, football, basketball, baseball, softball, track, cross country, you name it. If you missed the show, you can definitely go to z92online.com and find a replay of it there. We'll step aside for a quick break, and on the other side, continue to get you ready for this matchup between the Woodward Boomers and the Guthrie Bluejays. Kickoff Week 1. You're listening to Boomer Football on Z92.
My dad, he's a double amputee, and he's one of my favorite people in the world. To me, a hero is someone who fights for our country and freedom. My dad is a hero. Our troops built this house, and it's basically made for him. My dad can get through the wide doorways. When he is making our lunch, he can reach anything. He'll help me build tiny
violence and terror in our communities. Lies and hate everywhere are a threat to all people, anywhere. Be a part of the change. Help defend the future of our democracy. Go to counterhate.com to learn more.
So, Dakota, let's talk, of course, about some of the key players to watch on both teams here. Offensively for the Boomers, starts with Ace Long. We've mentioned the sophomore, just short of 1,000 yards rushing. It's a bell cow for the Boomer offense. Last season, down the spread offense, Coach Gordon and his staff going to try to get him into some space a little easier. A guy that's going to try to help that, the junior Ryan Douglas Fisher. He was kind of thrown into the fire last year after that injury, Sam Cheap, but he showed flashes of some of the ability. You talked about that with CJ with both his arm and his leg. Ultimately, got to take the next step in decision-making for Mr. Douglas Fisher. Speaking of Cheap, Ben Cheap going to be out there at the wide receiver spot. That's a guy the Boomers are going to look to maybe be a go-to target to help take some pressure off Ryan Douglas Fisher and Ace Long, because it doesn't matter what system you're running, spread under center. If everybody knows you're going to one guy, it becomes a lot tougher to move forward. Defensively for the Boomers, Peyton Carter, one of the seniors on this roster, is going to start. He's going to look to use his athleticism at that nose tackle position to be able to maneuver around this physical, nasty Guthrie defensive line and maybe set some tones out there. He noted to us Wednesday night he wants to go win. He wants to have a winning record this season. And we'll see how he tries to help accomplish that. Casey Bourne, another junior to watch out for, middle linebacker. Boy, he was a force to deal with. He continues to grow, develop, and we hope, again, will improve on what was a really fantastic season last year. And then Mason Bourne, the safety, the tall, lanky, 6'3", going to have some size to work with in that. And Dakota, those guys, I think it really, encapsulates each position group that those are the guys that are going to drive things for the Boomers if we're going to have success this season.
I like how Coach Gordon is moving some around some of these guys in different positions. Talk about Mason Boring switching over to that position. That's a great position for him. That gives him a lot of extra vertical ability to maybe make an interception. And you got Ben Cheap, strong man, fast, can get down the field really easily, can make good cuts and everything. So I'm very excited to see how it's going to play out with all the different position changes.
Definitely. So, and they're doing the coin toss here. We'll get that real quick. It looks like the Boomers defer, so they're going to kick first. And it'll be Guthrie receiving to start the game. So the Boomer defense going to be getting the first crack at that Guthrie offense. Guthrie 1-0 on the season coming to this one. Had a 40-0 win over Ponca City at home last week. Last season they were 9-3. Made it to the quarterfinals at 5-8. Did lose a couple talented makers. Linebacker and Landon Herzl, but back two huge senior pieces. Quarterback Hayden Calvert, running back Jan Harper, and then also another senior watch on the defensive side, defensive tackle Delonte Glover. Calvert and Harper really drives this Guthrie offense with their rushing ability. Calvert has developed to be, an all-around quarterback, a guy that's smart. He can get done with the arm, obviously get done with the feet, and then Harper just insane to stop that running back position. I think we got national anthem coming up here. Yep. Okay. So we'll have the national anthem here real quick. We'll pause and stick with you for the national anthem.
Before our national anthem,
life never stops moving between the 30-minute commute.
Reflect, meditate, pray, or engage in other silent activities. Please be respectful of others during this moment of silence. And now, at this time, the Boomer Band will play our beloved national anthem.
And there was the national anthem there by the Boomer Band. Had the moment of silence as well before that. Of course, the Boomer Band led by Daisy Crockett. Always fantastic. We'll get to talk with them, I'm sure, at some point in the coach show in a few weeks upcoming to talk about their show this year at halftime. But Dakota, we're talking about Hayden Calvert and Jalen Harper and how dynamic they are as a duo, both at quarterback and running back offensively. Talking about the defensive side of the ball, I mentioned Delonte Glover guy up front to deal with for Guthrie at the defensive tackle position. The linebacking core is usually kind of the pride of the Blue Jay defense, if you will, and they've got some good ones. Eli Monroe, he was back as a senior. Kellen Herzl, his brother Landon, was the All-Stater. Kellen, a sophomore, fit in nicely. Josh Farnell, another big-time playmaker there at that linebacker spot. And then you go into the secondary, some good athletes. Senior Nate Benford, seniors Xavier Williams there at the corner spots, and DBs Tariq Watson and Kyron Axel, both a senior and junior respectively. I think the big thing about this team, Dakota, that I can look at looking at their line, one of the few sophomore starters in Cooper Walters, but he's a big one at left guard. This Guthrie team is experienced through and through. A ton of seniors out there, a ton of juniors with playing time, and that's always dangerous to try to deal with as a team.
Well, like you were saying, the guys that go like two peas in a pod is definitely Hayden Calvert and Jaden Harper. Those two guys just seem to connect so well on every level and every snap. So engaged in what's going on. Those two guys are going to be the guys that stop tonight, Tyler.
Absolutely, and we're getting ready to kick this off. Do one thing real quick. High Plains Tire, gold sponsor with us here on Z92. Top Cap Wear and Accessories. Divine Stationery Radio Shack. Fine Mechanical Northwest Class. Great Plains National Bank. And Long Shots Bar and Grill. Here's our coaches show hosts. Cannot do it without them. And we appreciate their support. And also, hey, Boomer TV, if you're listening on Z92 and want to watch it as well, tune in to Boomer TV on YouTube. Just search Boomer TV. Kurt Province, Chris Godwin, and his gang doing a phenomenal job running that right now. As we are ready here for the kickoff, the Boomers wearing the home black uniforms with the gold numbers, helmets, the white trim on the numbers and text, the black W on the helmet. Guthrie wearing their road white and black uniforms. That's going to be Ace Long kicking it off for the Boomers as he's got teed up to the. There is the opening kick of the 2023 Boomer football season, and that one carries all the way back for a touchback. No surprise there. We talk about those calf muscles on Ace Long, Dakota. That boy is stacked.
I mean, the kid can do it all, it seems like, in the weight room, on the field, in the classroom. He's got everything going for him right now.
3 will take over, 1st and 10 at their own 20 to begin the drive here in the first quarter. No time off the clock. As we'll see Hayden Calvert, Jalen Harper, the rest of the Guthrie offense make their way out.
A lot of changes to this Boomer defense since last season.
It's going to be Calvert in the gun, flanked by Harper on the right side. Now man motion. That is Blake Doles, the H-back tight end you're going to have to watch for. There's the snap, handed off to Harper. He's got a little bit of space across the 20, now the 25, tackled by a host of Boomers, but not before he gets to the 27-yard line. And we'll start out with a gain of 7 for Guthrie. And Dakota, that's some you got to close down for the Boomers right there.
Definitely. So got to close those gaps and just kind of be a little bit more physical.
2nd and 3 upcoming here. Ball on the 27. Doles goes in motion again for Guthrie. Calvert in the gun. Couple claps. Now looks back to the sideline. He's got 2 split receivers. The near is going to be Nate Benford. And oh, we got a whistle and a flag. Do we have a late game or what do we got here? And we do have a false start, they'll say, actually. So that's going to move Guthrie back. Didn't think it was quick enough to be a delay game, but they will say a false start on Guthrie. So instead of 2nd and 3, Dakota, Boomers catch a little break and it's going to be 2nd and 8.
That's what we like to see, a small mistake, but hey, we'll take it.
And they're checking something here on the sideline. I think we got also some, I'm not sure if that's a palm out there or what going on. I think the officials talking with Guthrie about their splits on that. Oh, okay, there's. So now we've got it. That's Calvert back in the gun. 2nd and 8 now. Harper flanking him. Again, the receivers to the near. Nate Bitford at the far. Kyrie Watson. And the handoff again that goes to Harper. He's off the 25. Now up to about the, looks like 28, maybe the 27 still. So essentially the yards that he lost, Dakota, on that penalty, or that Guthrie lost on that penalty, would be 3rd short.
3rd and 2.
One of the first. Potentially 5 in the class. He was a tackle there. 3rd and 2 coming for the Blue Jays. In the gun against Calvert. It's going to be a QB draw to the far side. He's going to get a hole, get through across to the 35, down to about the 38. And that's just tough to stop when you're able to direct snap it to him and get a host of blockers in front of him, Dakota.
Yeah, Casey Warren was there on the tackle. Didn't have too much help. Kind of had to take him down by himself. But, man, Calvert tucks it and runs, and he gets away from him real quick.
Yeah, he does. And that's a first down. Guthrie ran for 263 yards last week, all city, between about 4 or 5 running backs. First and 10 here from the 38. They hand off on a sweep to Harper, and the Boomers are going to be there. It looks like Cooper on that tackle, trying to catch a couple other numbers. A late flag comes in. Ooh, might be good. There was the looks like the Boomers are going to take the penalty, so Guthrie's going to have a 1st and long now.
Yeah, during that tackle, defensive back Ben Sheep was going in for a tackle. Looks like he got held up.
Ah, good eye there, good eye. And that's a holding on the Blue Jays. So 2 penalties early here for the Blue Jays. Not something we see as kind of the undisciplined nature.
You know, that's kind of surprising to me.
So now be 1st and 20 from the 29. Explanation, Calvert. Goes to the far side. Pass going to be, ooh. To the ground. Kyron acts great catch on the space zone. Gets about 10 yards back, and it'll be 2nd and 9 upcoming.
Yep, almost right to the line of scrimmage.
Officially called 11.
Boomers are being a little bit more aware on defense now, so that's also a good sign.
That pass was initially over Doles, it looked like. Calvert in the gun again. Man in motion is Doles. He'll get the end around to the near side. Has a hole, turns upfield. There's some heavy contact as we get to about the 45. Another late flag coming up to make a little bit of a crack. Casey Moore in that middle linebacker. What the call is, it came in late.
Maybe another one on Guthrie.
Though laid by Bourne, unfortunately. Coach Gordon goes.
Want to see something? Sometimes it's a little.
They're seeing the same thing. Guthrie's
almost like
pick it up and wave it off. Okay, so like I said, I didn't see anything from Guthrie's side or Woodward's side. I was maybe the hit was a little too. By Woods. It'll be a 3rd and 3 at the Guthrie's own 38. Moving the ball here on the Boomers. 2 first downs on the drive, trying to get their 3rd. Is going to be the sophomore back. He got a hold on 50. So 40 down to 35-30 before he's finally out of bounds. As in the backfield with sophomore Zane Thomas on the halfback spot. Woodward covered that well, Dakota, but Calvert slipped through a big-time gap.
Him and Jake Graff were going down the sideline, and unfortunately, Calvert, he just slipped away too fast.
Looks like about 37-yard run. And so it'll be 1st and 10 from the Boomer 25 now. Guthrie going quick. They'll hand off to Thomas up the middle. He's bowling over to the 10, to the 8, to the 7, down to the 6 before the Boomers can get him down. And there is just big-time holes being opened up right now by that Guthrie offensive line.
Yep, something's going to have to change on the defense. We're going to have to close the gaps.
So that's a 19-yard run now. Back-to-back big runs for Guthrie as they threaten on 1st and goal. Calvert in the gun. Hands off to Jalen Harper, who's back in. He's going to bowl his way into the end zone. And it's going to be the first touchdown here of the ball game. Guthrie gets it. Jalen Harper from 6 yards out will punch it in. Again, great blocking up front. And Guthrie will strike first. And quickly they will come on for the extra point. As for that extra point is going to be Noah French. However, going to be a holder. So Guthrie with a big-time drive there, able to punch it in. 9:14 to go in this first quarter, and the extra point by French is straight
And
through the
extra point
uprights
is
and
good.
good. Just like that, Guthrie will lead 7-0 here to start out against the Boomers. We'll step aside for a quick break and come back. You're listening to Boomer Football on Z92.
Life never stops moving. Between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, and that weekend trip to Grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up, like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety you expect, you can lose track of the miles and focus on what really matters, the memories made along the way. Stop in today at 2220 Main in Woodward to see your local Michelin dealer, High Plains Tire.
Versus matchup. And 80 yards on that drive, taking only 2:46 off the clock. And Dakota, just as we expected, the run game big time there for Guthrie. All one play. Really started the drive.
Yeah, they really kind of just took off from the get-go and defense to the limit. And once they kind of found what they were looking for, rhythm-wise, they just kind of flipped right onto the end zone.
That they did, and we're going to have to figure out a way to close those gaps. Guthrie had some big-time running room there on each of those carries.
Yep. Looks like Woodward going to go back out there and get set off for the kickoff. As Guthrie's still in a little bit of a huddle, waiting for the official.
Waiting for the official signal. Looks like the returner is going to be Ben Cheap and Ace Long. Ace Long on the far side to us, far hash. Cheap to the near, about the 10, about the 9 actually.
If it goes short, it'll be, looks like Jake Graff that may get a hold of it too.
Good eye there, and I believe kicking this will be, catch a number on that. I don't think it's French out there. We'll see who it is here in just a second.
47.
That would be. Do not have a 47 on the Guthrie roster, so we'll figure who that is. The only other kicker punter listed is Jesus Torres, so it might be him. We'll have to check. Ace Long going to catch on bounce. Chance on a turn, comes to the near side, does get across the 20 and up to the 25-yard line, and that's where Woodward will take their first offensive possession of the season.
You know, Tyler, and just like we talked about, Ace Long building that muscle, a couple
of the season. That's a great point because, you know, it's funny talking to his dad. He's like, well, he feels he lost some top end speed. I don't think that's necessarily true, but man,
a little heavier.
If he did, okay, it's a good sacrifice.
We really can't tell.
Yeah. As it'll be Riley Douglas Fisher and the shotgun. Long going to be beside him. They'll have trips, and it's tight on the trips on the far side. As the officials kind of talking with the guys there.
A real tight package, it looks like.
Looks like Luke Parkhurst, Ben Cheap as well, a receiver in that. I believe Colt Moore. And to the near side is Cooper Latal. Now they split it out, so you have the flanker. It's Cooper Latal, not Colt Moore. As their snap, handoff to Ace Long. He'll try to go to the far side. Guthrie just going to blow it up. 2 defenders on that very quickly right there. That was Eli Monroney and Tariq Watson flying in to make the tackle. It's a loss of 2 for the Boomers. As I'll back it up to the 23-yard line. Boomers tried to stretch him out on the edge. Didn't quite work. So 2nd and 12. Douglas Fisher in the gun. Ace Long flanking him on the near side. Now we got officials whistle here. Not quite sure what we got. I don't know what the official, I think he means, oh, okay, there we go. As he's telling Kyron Axel to get off the field for a minute. I guess there's an issue with the equipment, but he's pointing to the wrong sideline there. They got figured out. So Kyron Axel going to be out now, and step in for him will be number 3, Kyrie Watson. Anyways, Douglas Fisher, 2nd and 12 in the gun, Long beside him. Head off the Long, and boy, nothing doing again. As coming through that hole on the fast forward that time looked to be Kellen Herzl, the sophomore.
Brings up 3rd down and 13 yards to go.
The brother younger, Landon Herzl for last year. And it's a loss of 1 for Ace, so the Boomers moving backwards so far. Ponca City last week had 31 carries for negative 11 yards, Dakota. So the Boomers are going to try to beat that number, but this Guthrie run defense is tough right now.
You don't hear that often.
as 3rd and 13. Douglas Fisher in the gun. That snap's going to go high over his head. He's got to chase it down. He tries to fall on it, but can't. It's covered by Guthrie at the 2. Eli Monroney falls on it for the Blue Jays.
Wow. Just when you think you might have a shot at maybe going for a pass right there, getting lined up, it just goes right over the top of your head, way too high, and couldn't recover it in time.
Yeah, Douglas Fisher hustled back there, but it was just one of those, like I mentioned, he couldn't do much with it as it was way too far over his head. So 7:53 to go in the first quarter, and the Blue Jays are going to be sitting up at the Woodward 2 to begin this drive. An easy first and goal here. We'll see if the Boomers can stop it. Hayden Calvert instantly on the draw to the near side, and he will get in for the touchdown.
Blue Jays.
So Woodward going to fall behind quickly. 13-0 here off the turnover. Guthrie's take advantage just like that. And that is tough. Coach Gordon, talk about that discipline. Unfortunately, it's just that one mistake, first mistake of the game, really makes Guthrie makes pay for it.
Something that we haven't really seen down here on the sideline, they have a group of guys huddling around and they're talking to each other. I think that's maybe the O-line or the D-line.
Noah French for the extra point, and that is good. So
and
officially,
the extra point is good.
Just one play, 2 yards, and a touchdown for the Blue Jays.
14-0.
And 4 seconds after the turnover. And Woodward trails 14-0 now against the Blue Jays with 7:49 to go here in the first quarter. We will step aside for another break and come back with more. You're listening to Boomer Football on Boomer TV and Z92.
HIV is not a crime, or it shouldn't be. People living with HIV can do and live fully healthy lives
without risk of transmitting the virus to others.
But a different fear remains.
In 30 states, Americans are being imprisoned due to their HIV status.
It's time for the laws to catch up to science.
Join the Elizabeth Taylor AIDS Foundation to modernize outdated HIV criminalization laws. Go to etaf.org.
HIV is not a crime.
Campaign funded through the support of Gilead Sciences, Incorporated.
And welcome back to Boomer Football here on Z92. Dakota Wagner, Tyler Woodward, 9-14-0 here early against the Blue Jays after the turnover. 3rd and long, had a snap over the head of Ryan Douglas Fisher. Guthrie quickly capitalized. One play, 2 yards. They were in the end zone with Hayden Calvert, the senior quarterback. And so now Woodward, just like that, getting their chance on offense. But Dakota, we see pretty instantly that run defense is going to be tough to overcome for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, and I think the Blue Jays are really setting the tone right now, and Ken Gordon is going to have to get to work and try to get these guys on the rhythm.
That's going to be the goal, I agree, right there. Try to get a little bit more synergy going. As Guthrie's lined up for the kickoff, long and cheap back in our squib kick. This one's still going to get the long, though. They're trying to respect him. So field it just before the 15. And now making some moves, makes a man miss, cuts it out to the 25 on the near side. Got a block, cuts it upfield, the 40, the 50, the 45, down to the 40, and finally knocked out of bounds. Oh, look out over there, Youngins. As they got knocked out.
A
late flag. That's going to tack on board. What a return from Ace Long, reverse field, and that's what we've been waiting for, Dakota.
Now, Ace, if you're thinking you're putting a little too much weight on and muscle for that speed, I think you may be wrong because you just outran almost the entire Guthrie kickoff return.
And finished strong through the contact as well.
I mean, you get the good run up to the 40, 35-yard line, plus you get the additional late hit out of bounds. I mean, the Boomers are in good hands right now.
We'll see if that's going to be the case on the flag here as we're waiting on the official call. I imagine it is. That's the only flag I see being
Personal foul on Guthrie.
Yep. And it is personal foul. I was going to say it hits her head. And so the drive was going to start at the 34 in Guthrie territory before the kick return. Now they're going to mark it all the way up near the red zone here. And in fact, I believe in it.
You know, Tyler, I think that's what we needed right there from Ace Long, is a little bit of a confidence booster in this crowd, and definitely getting the fans
on the 19-yard line
for sure.
And hey, it's a great crowd out here. I got shout out the Guthrie or the Woodward crowd. It is packed to the brim.
This crowd is crazy, but I don't know if you see our pep club. I mean, it is entirely full along with the band as well.
So the Boomers are going to start in plus territory at the Guthrie 19 in the red zone.
Wow.
And a chance here to get on the board and do something that Ponca City wasn't able to do last week, and that was score. Be be Ryan Douglas Fisher in the gun. Everybody else in tight. Ace Long flanking Douglas Fisher. Is about 4 receivers. Douglas Fisher going to roll to the far side, looking to pass. Got a man open. Floats at the end zone. Oh, it's in and out of the hands. Great defense on the backside. But Ben Cheap had, it looked like Kyron Axtell beat, but Axtell just got enough of that ball to affect the catch. That was in the end zone with the chance.
Man, if he could have just maybe stepped in front just a little bit more, he could have had a little bit more control on that ball. But Tyler, to your point, that defender right there was just on him right where he needed to be, and credit to him.
And that's what Guthrie's going to do. They're going to challenge you to beat that man defense.
I mean, if you're going to beat someone, you're going to have to beat them mentally and physically.
Absolutely. So 2nd and 10 now. Got 2 receivers split. Rival the tight end. 2 running backs in the backfield. Cheap to the far side. Long here, Douglas Fisher. He's going to play action. He's under pressure instantly, though, as Eli Monroney beat his man on the far side, and just nowhere to go for Ryan Douglas Fisher. He'll be sacked for a big loss back to the 27-yard line. It's a loss of 8.
And 19 yards to go.
Not what you like to see. The pressure got to him too fast. Offensive tackle Bobby Kirk there just had a guy slip through him. You don't see that often. He came from Sarah, transferred this year. Pretty
good
big
size.
Boy. Good size. Very physical up front. He's going to be a guy to look out for too. Making room for Ace Long.
So it's going to be 3rd and 19 now for the Boomers. As Douglas Fisher in the gun, Long beside him. Play action. He's got a man open over the top. Goes for it on the far side. Oh, incomplete. Again, it was Ben Cheap beating his man. That time, though, pass just a touch too strong from Ryan Douglas Fisher. But Dakota, there were some opportunities here early.
You know, and that's what we haven't got to see a lot of from Boomer football lately. But a good opportunity right there for Ben Cheap leading his man. And Tyler, if we can see a lot more of those, I mean, we may have some good receivers this year.
Correction, that was actually, believe that? Trying to see over here.
Those numbers are
that was
kind of
actually
stretched out.
Dawson Heckert. I apologize. Dawson Heckert there. But still had his man beat. And now Woodward going to try a long field goal here.
Ace Long, kick-foot field goal.
So we're going a 45-yarder for Ace Long. And we know he's got a big leg. He's going to be the kicker and punter. There's the snap. Ball's down. Hold it clean. The kick is up. Did he get in there? It did. Oop, I don't know. No signal yet. They're saying no good, and it was the ref on the far side that was not even underneath the poles. He wasn't even underneath the poles, and he just
see that. Some of the fans not agreeing with it, of course.
I'm not glad that we know any better up here because we couldn't tell. Obviously, we had to wait on the call.
It looked good, but from one side, you know, it looked like it dangled a little bit.
Yeah, maybe sliced across late.
It's a hard eye to catch on that one.
That is unfortunate. Look, definitely had the distance, no doubt about it. Just missed. So Guthrie takes over at the own 28 there with 6:45 to go in this first quarter. And Calvert in the gun. He'll hand off to Harper up the middle. Big hole. Harper up to the 40. He's got the first down and gets struck down. And it's a first down for the Blue Jays quickly. As they're going to try to move fast here. Going no huddle, it looks like, on the Boomers.
First down and 10 yards to go.
14-yard run there by Harper. As Guthrie gets over in. 2 receivers split out, one to the near, one to the far. Calvert on the gun, Harper beside him on the near side. Now man motion is going to be Doyle's across the formation. To the near side, Calvert takes the snap. He'll hand off to Harper. Harper with a little patience. Not much there, though. Boomer's able to stop him up for only a gain of a yard. Looks like maybe a yard and a half.
Yeah, that's going to be Jake Graff on the tackle, as well as
Peyton Carter in on the tackle.
And Peyton Carter, we talked about the senior. Gorilla out there trying to get it done and doing that early. So only a gain of a yard, we'll call it. Definitely want to see more of that if you're the Boomers. 2nd and 9 upcoming. 5:40 to go in this first quarter. Guthrie does lead 14-0. Calvert in the gun. As now it's going to be Zane Thomas with him in the backfield. DeWills goes across in motion. They'll fake the handoff. Calvert going to look for some room to run. Not much doing there. Does get a few up. Gets across the 45 to about the 46. But again, Woodward Leamington a gain there and going to make it 3rd and 6 for Guthrie after the 3-yard run.
The 5'11" linebacker. Cason Bourne gets it done again.
And that's what we expect of him all season long. I know that's what Coach Gordon expects. He's got to be that guy in the middle.
So young, but so talented and physical, and just really good at IQ in football.
As Guthrie getting set, trips to the near side here, receiver-wise. Covering the gun, Zane Thomas still in there. Running back also to the near side. Nobody to the far. 3rd and 6, Calvert takes the snap, looking to throw it. It's going to be a quick one, and that one's just thrown away by Calvert. Miscommunication there, I think, on the route. And Woodward forces a 4th down here.
Going to be interesting to see what we do. Calvert is now going to go jogging off the field. Might bring the punt crew back on.
Yeah, it's kind of a
bring on.
I mean, Coach Beebe could be aggressive at this point. It's not the worst field position, but probably not one in the analytics will say, yeah, go for it. So, as it'll be 4th and 6 from the Guthrie 47.
Mason Boring back to receive the ball.
It looks like Kyron Axtell going to be back to punt. Couple gunners split out wide. And back to return. Looks like they've been cheap. Couldn't quite identify the number. Snap is low for Axtell. It's not a great punt. That's barely going to get over the line of scrimmage. It does get into Woodward territory, but this is going to be some good field position. Looks like that was actually Mason Bourne back there. And the punt is down.
Coach Gordon, really not liking what he saw down there on the field. He was telling him, hey, you got to get that to go. You had an open field advantage, and you didn't take it.
Well, and it's a freshman. You know, he's not quite sure maybe the points to be aggressive.
Getting some pats on the back of the helmet there and saying, all right, let's shake it off.
So 4:44 to go in this first quarter. Woodward will take over at their own 42 after the short punt. It'll be Ryan Douglas Fisher out on the gun. Ace Long flanking him to the near side. Trips receivers in tight, and a receiver in tight to the near side as well. Now, man, in motion behind. Oh, and it's on the ground. Mishandled on the snap, and the Boomers have to fall on it. They recover it, but not quite sure what happened there.
Fumble recovered by the Boomers.
Colt Moore was the one to dive in on it maybe and get that.
2nd and 11.
As soon as it snapped, the ball didn't even move, so I was kind of curious what was happening. I thought it may have been a play.
So it's a loss of a yard. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 7. A little miscommunication there. As again, Boomers in the gun. Douglas Fisher, Ace Long beside him on the far side. 3 to the near and tight. Man goes in motion. That's Heckert. Heckert going to get the pitch, and boy, it's going to be blown up for a huge loss. Sniffing that one out was Tariq Watson. Just came up and blew it up, and that is a huge loss. That one was about the 40, maybe the 41, and they're already back all the way back to the 34. So a loss of 9, we'll call it, on the play.
No, but to your point, Watson read that play so well. You know, you had Ace Long on the other side cut a route, but hey, that could have been good for Ace Long, but unfortunately Watson just read that so well.
It's going to be Heckert, Parkhurst, Cheap, the receivers. Parkhurst now going to the far side. Cheap and Heckert, the deer. Douglas Fisher in the gun. Along with them. Play action fake. Douglas Fisher under pressure immediately, and it's Eli Monroney again making the big play. And that's a huge sack all the way back to the 26, and just no room to breathe right now for the Boomers to go.
No, there's none. Seems like the defense is just catching on so quickly, and we're going to have to change some things up as we have the punting game coming back on the field.
26 yards to go.
Ace Long
Boomers are going to kick. Ace Long to kick.
Punting and kicking off as well. And back deep to returns will be Jalen Harper. This is not a spot where you want to give him a lot of space. Dangerous playmaker, of course, as we know. Over 100 yards last week. The 263. Woodward trying to make sure they got everybody on. Got about 5 seconds to get this one off. Down to 3, and we're not quite ready. I don't think they're getting this off. And, ooh, maybe just barely. Nope, they throw the flag. Yeah, he's tried. He still got off. It's a shame because that would have been a beautiful punt. That was back there. But it's going to tack on a few more yards. That's a false start.
60-yard punt right
not
there.
a false start, but delay game. And, yeah, that's a 60-yard punt. It rolled. I think it was delay game, not false start.
It should have been delay game.
Yeah.
And now they're going to back up just a little bit more. Set to receive is Benford and Watson.
So that'll be back to receive.
They'll scoot up just a little bit from where they were originally at.
I don't know if you want to do that. Ace has got a big boot.
That's what I was just about to say.
There's a clean snap. Ace going to get this one off. Not as far, of course. A bit more high, though. Make sure it's not going to be a return, as it will get across the 50 and roll a little bit more down to, it looks like, the 42 or 43. Yeah, I think 42 maybe. Nope.
And the Bluejays will take over on the 42-yard line.
That's where Guthrie will take over here with the 2:18 to go in the first quarter. See if Woodward can force another 3 and out like last drive. Trying to stay in this one over a very tough top 10 Guthrie team at 5A. So let's mark it to 42 actually. So own 42 for Guthrie on this drive. That's where they will begin. As this could be Hayden Calvert in the gun. Jalen Harper, far side, flanking him. Got a receiver out to the far. Looks like Nate Benford and everybody else in tight. There's a snap. Hand off to Harper to the near side. Round in. Nowhere to go, though. Up on him. Colin Bourne right there. Played it well, and that's going to be a loss of 1.
Colin Bourne and Levi Harris.
Great job by the youngin right there.
Just snapped on him and read it so perfectly. Didn't really have anywhere to go as the defensive line was holding up pretty good. And that just gave Colin Bourne to swing around the edge and go get him.
And Ace Long told us during the coach show that they had a really good film session Sunday. Coach Gordon and crew did a great job to break down what Guthrie does well. And you can see it right there, Dakota. That's one of those film plays we talk about.
That's what you like to see. That's how you want it to be every time.
So second 11 here at the minute 40 to go in the quarter for the Blue Jays at their own 41. Trips to the far side. Calvert in the gun. And Harper beside him, a fake hand off to Harper. Now Calvert's going to take himself as a whole. Gets across the 45, near to the 50. And that's about where they'll mark him down at the 50-yard line. So there it's a gain of 9. And it sets up a 3rd and short for Guthrie and Dakota. That's what they do so well, it seems like, is just find a way to stay on schedule. Does Guthrie sets themselves up to 3rd and shorts, 3rd and mediums at worst.
I agree, and it looked like it was Bowen Morton on the tackle there for the Boomers.
And now officials timeout here as Guthrie was looking to get snapped. I think that's Coach Gordon taking the timeout. He does, as he wants to talk about some things with his guys, and they're getting into Morton right now a little bit on the tackle, so maybe a miscommunication as far as something scheme-wise. And we'll keep it right here as we've exhausted a couple of breaks in the quarter. And Dakota Thain started out ugly for the Boomers. Got a big kick return from Ace Long. Unfortunately, couldn't take advantage of it. Missed that field goal, so they've had an opportunity at least to score. Defensively, it seems like maybe settle in just a touch better.
Yeah, I think that they're on the right track and maybe slowing these guys down just a little bit. I feel like our defensive receivers are very good in coverage, like Colton Moore, Cooper Beener. I feel like
back's what you're looking for.
That's what I was looking for.
But yeah, no, Cooper Beener mentioned as well, playing good up the middle. Casey Bourne, of course, as well, having a good start to the ball game.
If we can just control Hayden Calvert and his running game, I feel like that's really getting away from us right now.
He's been, anytime he's drawn it and taking it off that read option himself, has had a big hole. That's a great point. I do want to thank our sponsors with us here on Z92. High Plains sponsor with us, Top Cat Formal Wear and Accessories, Divine Stationery, Radio Shack, Klein Mechanical, Northwest Glass, Great Plains National Bank, and Long Shots Bar and Grill. Cannot do it without them. Of course, Boomer TV, if you're not watching on there, you can. Go to the YouTube page, Boomer TV, and it's live, and we got the audio over it. Can't thank Kurt Providence and Chris Godwin enough. So a 3rd and 2 here for Guthrie now. Out of the timeout, it's going to be a handoff to Harper up the gut. He will get it, but ball's out late. Who got it? Are they still fighting for it? I think Guthrie recovered and fell back on top of it. One of the big men right there. The lineman looks like Samaja Morgan. Yeah, the center able to fall back on that, save a turnover as that ball came out late on Harper. Did get the first down as it got up to the 45 into Woodward territory, so a gain of 5.
But, man, almost had the ball there for the Boomers. That would have got another break. That would have been nice.
Well, it was textbook right there. He's running hard. Harper is to try to finish the run. You get in there and rip it out. That's tough to do on a guy like Jalen Harper. He is secure in that ball handle. So it's 1st and 10 from the Woodward 45 for Guthrie. 35 seconds to go in the quarter. Guthrie does have to get a playoff here. Trips to the far one to the near Harper in the backfield with Calvert. Calvert going to take himself on the read option and does get a few yards up to the 40. Nope, they're going to mark him at the 41. So gain of 4. And that will probably end the quarter there. As we are under the play clock with about 18 seconds to go. We'll see how Guthrie plays it here.
They're going to play it end the quarter. Coach is calling him to the sideline.
Yep, Coach Beebe getting him over to the sideline, and that's how we will end the first quarter as Guthrie will have a 14-0 lead over the Boomers. And we'll step aside for a break of our own. You're listening to Boomer Football on Z92.
And at the end of the first quarter, the Blue Jays
tackle an endless to-do list every day. It may seem like a thankless job, but you know better. It's the little things that matter most. That's why you'll appreciate the enduring value of the Michelin Defender tire. Designed for doers like you, Michelin's longest-lasting tire keeps you on the go longer, so you have one less thing to worry about on your next road trip. Stop in today for miles of uncompromised safety and performance. Visit your local Michelin dealer, High Plains Tire, at 2220 Main in Woodward.
For more than 20 years, Northwest Glass has served Northwest Oklahoma with all their glass and door needs, including vehicle and equipment, windshield replacements and chip repairs, rekeying locks, and window and door repairs and installations. Call 256-4324 or stop by 611 Texas Avenue for all your glass and door needs. Good luck, Boomers.
People investing in people. That's what they're all about at Great Plains Bank, because life isn't a transaction, it's a journey, and on that journey, we're greater together. Great Plains Bank has locations in your local area because they're here to serve you. Great Plains Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
And welcome back here to Boomer Football. It's C92 and TV as well. Dakota Wagner, Tyler Riggs with you as Guthrie takes a 14-0 lead after one. And got it done with a 6-yard touchdown run from Jalen Harper to start things on an 80-play drive, or 80-yard drive, not 80 plays, goodness, 9-play drive. That was the first possession of the game. Woodward would fumble at the next possession, or their first possession. Guthrie recovers on their own 2. You get a 1-play, 2-yard touchdown run by Hayden Calvert, and that is how we wind up at this 14-0. But Dakota Woodward did a good job to kind of slow things down there the rest of the quarter as far as Guthrie attack. But Guthrie driving right now going on a 5-play drive here.
You know, you're 1 quarter in. Let's see how settled you can get in the second quarter.
As Calvert will be in the gun, and now officials trying to make sure, I guess everybody's set. Somebody may have a oh, they're getting Harper off because I guess there was some sort of equipment deal with him, so he'll come off. Zane Thomas will step in, sophomore running back. As, Coach Beebe had to fix something there for Harper, so
pull down his shirt a little bit.
Calvert in the gun, Thomas with him, 2 receivers out wide, and it's going to be Calvert again, the QB sneak, if you will, off the read option, and just following blockers. He's going to get a first down, crossing that 35 all the way to the 30-yard line, and just like that, able to rip off 11 yards and another first. That is a tough ask to stop. It's a read option, a simple one, but when the guy that is making that decision is as smart as Hayden Calvert and has the legs he has, man, it's tough to stop.
Man, you can just do about anything if you have that built and that legs.
So 1st and 10 from the Woodward 30 for Guthrie, threatening to go up 3 scores here early in the second quarter. Calvert being the gun, a receiver on each side, near and far. Doles goes across the formation in motion in front of us. And back to pass is Calvert. First time, I think, tonight. He's going to try to go to the end zone. That's picked off in the back of the end zone by the Boomers.
You know who that is? That's Colin Bullard, the freshman.
It was overthrown by Hayden Calvert and a big turnover by Guthrie, and the Boomers get a stop.
And that's what you like to see. The Boomer defense.
Just talking about how they were settling in a little bit better. Great double coverage over the top.
Now, how settled can they get in the second quarter? They are off to the right track.
Now they got to do it on the offensive side of the ball.
The crowd's getting pumped up after that, Tyler.
Absolutely. What a pick there from Colin Bourne. Had to kind of
he had a leap through that. I'm not going to lie. I didn't know if he was going to be able to control it or not, but hey, he goes out of the end zone for a touchback. We'll take it.
So the Brewers will start on their own 20, 11:23 to go here in the second quarter. And in the gun, looks like we get Cash Carter, Cash Carter in there. It's missed exchange on the snap, or on the fake handoff, and it's a fumble, and Guthrie gets it right back.
Wow.
It was Cash Carter trying to run the read option, and there was a little bit of a miscommunication on the handoff between him and Ace Long. Or excuse me, that might have been Dawson Heckert. It was Heckert the one that was coming across, as there was 2 backs in the backfield, and Woodward turns it right back over.
Man.
God.
They're going to have to go a long ways down the field, and I was hoping they could push the ball if this was going to happen. But, man, Guthrie get another good job at another good look at good field position.
So 11:20 to go in the second quarter now. Guthrie in the red zone here, taking over officially at the 16. First play of the drive. Harper gets a handoff. He's going to break some tackles, bowl over a Boomer to end the run, and that is a touchdown from Jalen Harper. And twice now, Guthrie has just instantly cashed in on Boomer turnovers. And a tough run finish here by Jalen Harper, 16 yards out, and it's a score for Guthrie. So they will push it to 20-0 now. And Dakota, this is one of those games, if you're the Boomers, it's 2 real big mistakes that's put you in this hole.
You know, it feels like it should be a 7-0 scenario,
right?
But just unfortunate that the errors that you're talking about cost so many points.
There's Noah French in on that extra point, and it is good. So with that, Guthrie now leads 21-0 there. That's a 1-play, 16-yard drive on the touchdown run by Jalen Harper, and it takes 7 seconds off the clock. Blue Jays now lead 21-0. We'll step aside for a break and come back. You're listening to Boomer Football on Z92.
The next disaster is coming. The time to get ready is now. Make a plan. Choose meetup locations and keep a contact list. Build a kit with food and water. Don't forget your pets. Keep extra medicine on hand. Make copies of key documents and keep them somewhere safe. Stay informed, learn about local hazards, and sign up for alerts. Be ready. Learn more at americares.org/sendusin.
And welcome back. Unfortunately, as we talked about before the break, just 2 crucial turnovers by the Boomers. One, essentially in the shadow of your own end zone, resulting in a 2-yard score. And then a fumble as soon as you get a big interception at your own 20 and Guthrie takes advantage.
Just unfortunate there. Boomers look like they might have had some miscommunication there on that last one as Cash Carter was trying to get it handed off to Ace Long. Just unfortunate turn of events there. So now we go back and get the ball again, and let's see if we can get another spectacular run from Ace Long on this kickoff.
And sure enough, everybody out there ready to go. I think we're seeing his first action after, you know, and we kind of figured this might be the case because Cash, just freshman, but supposed to be the real deal from everything we've been told. So we'll see how many more snaps he gets there. Obviously, you got to not turn it over to stay on the field.
You know, a lot of the young quarterbacks don't get an opportunity as freshmen. So under the...
And the kickoff upcoming here. This one actually going to be the air. They had split the last few, and it's going to be cheap on the return. As he's got it about the 15, coming up to the 20. Going to have to lower his shoulder and does get knocked out of bounds there by Kyron Axel. And it looks like about the 21 is where that one will be. So the Boomers will take over at their own 21 here in the second quarter with 11:08 to go.
Yep, they caught Cheap by the foot there and kind of drug him out of bounds as quickly as they could. But hey, good for Cheap trying to get around. Had a good block from Ace Long there.
We'll see if the Boomers can find some balance offensively. They really haven't got anything going. It speaks to this insane Guthrie defense. Held Ponca City to just, I believe it was 9 total yards, maybe 7 total yards last week.
Coach Gordon giving Cash Carter a second chance out there in the QB position.
And he will be in the gun. Ace Long beside him. 2 to the far, 1 to the near. Tight end as well. Carter going to look to pass, rolling to the short side, and that one, the throw a bit low and outside right there, was open as Ben Cheap was about the 25 Dakota. Not one of those games that would have been big, but it would have been keeping you on schedule if you got 5 out of it.
Yeah, you know, with him just being a freshman, maybe first game jitters, getting in there, getting the nerves out of the way. Right. It's all part of the process, so you got to give the kid a little bit of time to develop as well.
So bring up a 2nd and 10 after the incompletion. Cash Carter will stay on the field. He'll be in the gun, Long on the far side flanking him. Looks like Dawson Heckert near him. 2 split out, 1 to each side, and they're going to run that read option play again. This time, Carter going to try to keep it. 2 Blue Jays on now, a 3rd, and this is going to be a loss. Eli Monrody, boy, we've already said his name a ton tonight, and he is just eating it up right now on that defensive line.
You know, we had a good push from our offensive line, but when it went around to that corner on that side over there, it just seems like the defense we just started to swallow that hole up really quickly and ended up getting Cash Carter in the back.
So 3rd and 16 now from their own 15 for the Boomers in a hole here on this drive, trying to get out of it. We'll see what they could do.
So far, it seems like the Guthrie defense has just been a little bit more physical than us.
I think so.
Almost got them to jump right there.
Oh, and I think one of the Boomers jumped. I think Zane Weibel right there lined up as a tight end, may have flinched, and that's going to back it up even further.
That hurts.
False start.
False start on the Boomers.
So as much praise as we're heaping on the defense for the Boomers, the offense is going to have to kind of turn things around here because the defense is trying to give you a chance, but it's been the offensive side of the ball that's unfortunately not been in sync yet.
And you're 3rd and long.
3rd and forever, 3rd and 21 here from the 10. Carter going to look to throw, rolling to the
face
near
mask.
side, and oh no, that's a horse collar, I think, by Monroney. Maybe a face mask, we'll see.
I thought it was
Monroney
a face
brought
mask.
him down awkwardly.
It's kind of hard to tell where he got him. It was kind of just right around that helmet and shoulder pad area.
Not sure which call is going to be.
Personal foul.
I believe that's a horse collar.
Personal foul. Horse collar.
Yep, and that's what it was, a horse
Guthrie.
collar by Eli Monroney. Had Cash Carter dead to rights and just caught him a bit awkwardly, I think, was the issue, and drug him down. So it's a personal foul. On a big 3rd and long. I think this will be an automatic first down, but we'll see. At least give the Boomers 3rd and manageable as you go from 3rd and 21 to 3rd and 5.
That's what I was about to say. 3rd and short, Tyler, not bad.
Ball on the 30-yard line brings up 3rd down and
That's
1 yard to go.
Than what it was.
So the personal foul makes it, actually they're making it 3rd and 1, excuse me. So they took that, I apologize for the line of scrimmage. So that's 15, so 3rd and 1, yes. They had it as 3rd and 21 up there, okay.
Just need to go up the gun here.
Anyways, 3rd and 1 in the gun. Carter with it, 2 running backs. They'll fake the handoff and a miscommunication there as it was an RPO, I think, Dakota. And the receiver thought it was the R in that, the run.
The run and not the pass.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate right there, but hey, we're going to go for it, Tyler.
I mean, you're down 3 scores. I know it's deep in your own territory, but why not try to be a bit aggressive here?
Tyler, is this one of the scenarios where you just go heavy up front and bulldoze your way through, or do you take your time and you go split receivers, or what do you do?
Looks like the first is the call here is they're all in tight.
They're all going heavy.
Carter in the pistol. Now a bit of a trickery here as Ace Long is going to take the snap and make a direct snap to Ace Long. He's in the gun. Got Guthrie jump, I think. They didn't throw the flag, though. And it's going to be blown up in the backfield. Guthrie all over it. My goodness. And that's going to be a turnover on downs. Thought Guthrie may have almost jumped it, but they said not the case. And that is going to be a turnover on downs. Big loss there. About a loss. Looks like of 6.
Coach Gordon's throwing his hands up. He's looking to talk to the official right
Yeah,
now.
he probably wants the offside call or the encroachment. I don't think he's going to get it because they're going to say, I think the snap was before the jump. So it's going to be 1st and 10 for Guthrie. And 9:43 to go here in the second quarter. Guthrie will take over. Zane Thomas going to get the carry to start things out from the from the Boomer 27, and he's got a big gain right near the yardstick for the first down marker. As I think it's going to be right there. It's on. It looks like the 17. They were at the 27. I think might be. So 10-yard run by sophomore Zane Thomas.
Right guard John Ortega's checking in.
Calvert in the gun, hands off to Thomas again. Another big hole. He's got a hole out to the outside. He'll get into the end zone almost virtually untouched. Just followed blockers, and Guthrie had it schemed up all the way. And right there, it is a big run by Zane Thomas, 17 yards out, and another score for Guthrie as they will go 27-0 here.
No, good point there. Guthrie their offensive line created so much space and so much gap for him just to trot his way into the end zone untouched.
I mean, he kind of leisurely strolled almost there the last 5 yards. And Noah French on for the point after, try to make it 28. A 4-score lead for the Bluejays here with 9:10 to go in the second. French's kick is good.
And the extra point is
so
good.
Officially, 2 plays, 27 yards for Guthrie there.
28-0.
And they take a commanding 28-0 lead. With 9:10 to go here in the half. That drive goes 33 seconds officially for the Bluejays. And Dakota, I mean, can't blame Woodward for trying to maybe go for it on that 4th and short, trying to get something going offensively. Guthrie just absolutely reads it all the way, despite maybe a little trickery in the formation. And this run game is every bit as legit as we thought it was on film last week.
Yeah, you know, I really thought they could have gone a different route in that 4th and 1 right there for the play. Maybe could have swung it out to the side, outside handoff, but instead they tried to go straight up the middle. And the defensive line for Guthrie is just so big, Tyler. Those guys are so big and so physical. They just overpower us too much. So we got to find ways around that. Maybe have to get into the mental game.
Well, and really athletic, too. You got to remember, Guthrie really brings up their edge linebackers, makes that a really overloaded front right there, and tries to create mismatches, and that's what we've seen so far, is that the numbers game is just too much right now. Guthrie is constantly bringing 7, 8, and getting away with it because you just don't have time to make them pay for it.
In the backfield is going to be Ace Long.
And then Cheap. Long going to be the near to us. Cheap going to be the far. They're lined up, looks like about the 8-yard line on the hashes.
And then you got Kaysen Boren and I think Jake Graff in the secondary.
The up guys in front of them. Sun sitting here in Woodward. Hot day, but it should be a cool night.
That also might be a Luke Park horse too.
Could be. I think that's 4. I think you're right. This would be Parkhurst, excuse us. And then Kaysen Bourne, like I said. Guthrie ready for the kick, and there it goes. It's going to be a squib this time, and it's going to be fielded, it looks like, by Cheap on the bounce. He takes it at his own 5, gets up to the 15, and not going to get much further there. Big stick. Josh Barnell able to drag him down at the 15. That's where Woodward will take over. And they got him at the 16. Excuse me. They take him at the 16. So that's where Woodward will take over here. 9:05 to go now in the half. Trying to find something to get going. But doing it with not the best field position.
Gonna switch it up again. They get Douglas Fisher back out on the field here.
And I think we'll see this where, you know, I don't think it was a solid, you know, one guy over the other. They're both talented. I think we'll both see them take equal snaps.
That's a smart move, you know, just to see who's.
Douglas Fisher on the gun, trips to the far, one to the near, and now man in motion is Weibel. Ace Long with him in the backfield. They'll hand it off to Long. Bit of a low snap, and he's not going to have much to work with as he gets maybe back to line scrimmage, and that's about it. Bring up 2nd and 10.
Brings up a 2nd down and 10 yards to go.
Just not much doing yet.
Yeah, we haven't had a whole lot of opportunity to pass the ball. Just it seems like anytime we have just an error happens or we get caught up in a high snap, may see a pass right here.
8:35 to go on the half. We're facing a 2nd and 10 from their own 16, taking their time to get the play in and make sure everybody's set. It's going to be 2 to the near, 2 to the far side as far as receivers go. Long in the backfield with Douglas Fisher flanking to the short side. And now Douglas Fisher going to go with a quick pass, a screen pass out to the outside. Guthrie on it again. Pass is complete, but no gain as Luke Parkhurst with the catch and just nowhere to go, instantly wrapped up there.
No, but you like to see him get the ball in his hands and maintain control of it all the way to the floor.
And again, it's that concept of spread, trying to get some athletes out and work with something, but not been any space so far allowed by this Guthrie defense.
They're giving it all they got right now.
So 3rd and 10 for the Boomers. Douglas Fisher going to be a gun. Everybody in tight. Ace Long flanking Douglas Fisher. Got 2 receivers on the near side, 2 on the far, but in tight. Play clock down to 7. Douglas Fisher letting that run. Now faces it, call, now drop backs the pass. He's going to roll to this near side, looking for somebody. Nobody there, going to try and tuck it to run, and he just kind of flicked it out. And I think
there we go. Now we got a flag. I think it's going to be a
I think it's going to be an intentional grounding. I don't think there's anybody there. May not have even got back to the line of scrimmage.
He was calling for a hold as
intentional grounding though. Yeah,
fixing his shoulder pad there, but
just unfortunate for Ryan Douglas Fisher. Nowhere to go. Tried to just flick it out there. Didn't even get it back to the line of scrimmage. So intentional grounding. It's going to be 4th down for Woodward, as that would be a lost down penalty as well, and they'll back it up. So this punt's going to be deep for Ace Long, deep in his own end zone, as the ball is going to be moved back to the 2-yard line.
I think we're still in 3rd down.
Should be 4th, because that is a lost down penalty on the intentional grounding. No, that's 4th down, yeah.
Okay, now they switch it over.
Brings up 4th down.
You know, you'd love to see a trick play here, Tyler, but you were just way too pin deep in your own zone.
You would, but Ace Long's going to have to try to get this punt off is going to be tough. And it looks like
take a timeout here for the Boomers.
Yep. Coach Gordon, go take a timeout, try to talk with his guys on this and make sure everything's tightened up, because you don't want to give up a touchdown in this scenario or a play where you got safety or something like that with this kind of awkward punting location. So 7:27 to go in the half. Guthrie does lead Woodward 28-0. We will step aside for a quick break of our own. Listen to Boomer Football on Z92.
Parenting is hard. Technology can make it harder. The family media plan developed by the American Academy of Pediatrics helps make it easier. Go to healthychildren.org/media plan to set the media priorities and create the media plan that's right for your family. Raising kids in the age of screens is easier when you have a plan. Go to healthychildren.org/media plan today. That's healthychildren.org/media plan.
This from an awkward spot, gets a clean snap and does get up a punt and will get out to the 30 past it, so not bad for being all the way back in your own end zone, about a 4-yard punt. And still though, with that, Guthrie will take over at the Boomer 33 here with 7:18 to go in the half and trying to add on to the 28-0 lead. They've got it done all on the ground like we suspected they might. As we Hayden Calvert out in the gun, Zane Thomas with them in the backfield, a couple split receivers, one to the near, one to the far, tight end. Double tight, I should say, as well. Formation. Now we're taking Woodward's guys come out, looks like maybe Morden there, 29. He had equipment issues, so they got to fix that. Oh, now Morgan comes in. So that was somebody else. 24, that might have been Kingston Phillips. I think that was 24. Morgan is now in. First and 10 for Guthrie from the Woodward 33. Man comes in motion cross formation. It's going to be Watson. They'll hand it to him on the jet sweep. Woodward going to try to get there. Watson breaking through a couple tackles.
Kind of runs into his own man there.
Does it, but not before he got up to the 26, it looks like. It's a solid game there of about 7.
Side by Asa, and the Boomers in on that tackle.
As Watson able to turn up field just enough.
Second down and third, 3 yards to go.
Excuse me, I said, Kyrie Watson. So second and short. Second about 3 to go here for the Blue Jays. Calvert in the gun. Thomas with him in the backfield. Receiver on each side. Doles now goes across formation in motion to the near from the far. And a handoff to the inside to Thomas, and not much doing there. Does get a couple. It's going to be near the stick, but I think still short of the first down. A couple Boomers in on the tackle.
And number 52, Peyton Carter and Melvin Gorilla all over the field again.
2-yard gain there by Thomas. And so it's a third and short for Guthrie. It's still a 3rd and 2, so only just gave him 1. Calvert gun tries a hand off here to Thomas. That's going to be blown up, and it's Peyton Carter making the big play. Wow, got through there like nobody was blocking. And they forced the 4th down.
Talk about a kid that has kind of slimmed down in the summer and put on some muscle.
We'll see how Guthrie plays this. Calvert's going to jog off the field. Bring it in. Looks like the special teams maybe. Could be a long field goal attempt here if they go with that. I don't know if that's going to be the case.
You know, we didn't get to talk about Peyton a whole lot last year, but he made
they got Delonte Glover, the big D tackle now. And Jalen Harper. It's going to be a block for Harper, and Harper gets freed up for the first down. They just went straight power right there from the gun. Harper gets the first down to the 18. What a sneaky formation. No, excuse me, the 13. And so a big-time game there. Golly, so Glover... And we mentioned in the pregame, Glover's athletic. Does not surprise me they do something like that, but it's a gain of it looks like 11 as or 10 as it gets to the 14.
They created quite a bit of room for him.
So Harper got the first. Now Harper again. This time he'll hand off to Glover. Glover running free, gets to the end zone for a touchdown. got through a couple blocks, bowled over a boomer or two, and Delonte Glover, the D tackle, gets the score.
Man.
From 14 yards out, showing off his athleticism.
Like you said, Harper just handed it right off up the middle into the end zone.
So Guthrie extends their lead now, 34-0. And boy, when they start throwing the D lineman out there, Mission Athletics, he's 6'2", 205. I think they were talking about, you know, had played offensively early in his career.
Here comes old French on the field.
Old French trying to make it 35-0 on this extra point, and that's up, and it's
no
good, they say.
No
so
good.
They'll stay at 34-0. Extra point, no good. 5-play drive for Guthrie, officially 33 yards. And as far as time off the clock goes with that one, just under 2 minutes at 1:56 was the drive. And Dakota, you know, you get a couple plays where you force that fourth down, but again, Guthrie it's that fourth and manageable, right? It's that fourth and short, something where the playbook is wide open. And unfortunately, not much you can do to stop it.
No, it seems like just when you have Guthrie pinned down on fourth down, they find a way to trick you and go up the middle for another first down or not a touchdown.
But with the extra point miss, remains 34-0. Now the point, I think the point of this is here for Coach Gordon and his group is find something offensive. I think defensively, a couple of these scores have obviously been a result of a short field, and that's because the offense has really struggled. And you kind of wonder what would happen if, you know, there's a little bit better flow to the offense, kind of keep your defense, you know, off the field.
And with this offense, I really feel like we haven't found a flow or rhythm yet. We're just not clicking just yet, and I feel like once we start to piece some things together, we may see a little bit of a different team.
And so, the Boomers back deep to return. It's going to be Ace Long on the near, Ben Cheap on the far. Proceeded about, Cheap's back at about the 5, maybe trying to play the split kick. Long a little further up at about the 8. That's Guthrie ready to kick this one off. As everybody set, here's the ref's whistle. Now here comes the Blue Jays on the kick. This one is going to be skied high. It's going to be Cheap. Back to return it. He'll catch it. What about his own 7? Gets up to the 20. Finds a little bit of room past that to get to about the 23 maybe. And that's where Woodward will take over. Now again, trying to maybe find some rhythm offensively. That has been the issue. This Guthrie defense has been absolutely tough, is the best word I think to describe it. Physical as well.
Take over on the 23rd yard line. A nice run by Ben Cheap.
As Woodward takes over at their own 23 official. We'll see quarterback-wise, it looks like Ryan Douglas Fisher will be on the field now. Ace Long going to be the run back beside him. Far side, everybody else in tight. 2 receivers on each side. And there's the snap. Douglas Fisher going to roll to the far, looking to pass. Has a little pressure and tries to throw it off his back foot, looking for Ben Cheap just across the 30, and that's going to be low and incomplete. Good coverage as well. So I bring up a 2nd and 10 here now. And Dakota, Douglas Fisher, sadly, probably has most time right there of the night. So one of his most times, but just still not a lot to get your feet set.
Gotta find something going here. I feel like he's right there and finding a rhythm, but then something happens and it messes the whole thing up.
So Douglas Fisher will be in the gun. Got a receiver on each side, one to the near, one to the far. 2 backs in the backfield. Looks like Long and maybe Heckert, and it is Heckert. Ryan Douglas will fake the handoff. I thought it was handoff to Heckert. He was about blown up, but Douglas Fisher does at least get a couple of yards. And before he's dragged down across the 25, it looks like. Or no, they're going to mark it short of the 25. They're only going to say a yard on that play. So
Man, it looks like he got more with the way he cut across and then cut back, but barreled his way forward just a little bit, but didn't get as many yards as I thought he did.
So 3rd and 9 for the Boomers now. Not completely unmanageable. They still won't be on the 3rd and long. Douglas Fisher in the gun, Long beside him. Trips to the far, one to the near, but packed in tight. As the snap's on the ground, it's loose. Who's got it? I think Guthrie may have dived on it first, and they say they will. And the Blue Jays generate another turnover, and will get another short field here with 4:34 to go in
Folks, we hope you stick around for halftime, because at halftime, your Boomer Band and your Boomer Dance team will be performing.
Catch a break, it feels like.
It has been kind of the story of this first half. Some unfortunate turnovers from the Blue Jays on offense, or from the Boomers on offense.
We're just talking about Douglas trying to and something happens, and just like that, Tyler, you fumble it again on accident and force a turnover.
And so they'll take over Guthrie at the Woodward 23. Be Calvert in the gun. Harper with them in the backfield. The receiver on each side now. Motion goes Watson. And they'll fake the handoff. This time they'll give it up to Gutho to Harper. He's huge hole. Gets across the 15 before he's chopped down and near that first down marker. And I think he got it by about a yard.
Kupalataw and Mason Boring in on that tackle.
Sure enough, gets it there. Not quite a yard, but a couple inches at least. And so he'll get it up to the 13, so a 10-yard gain. Jalen Harper in that Guthrie run game absolutely tearing it up now. And Guthrie, no rush here to get the snap off as they're trying to drain some of this clock as well. Just over 4 minutes to go before the half. Calvert again, Harper with him. Flanking, receiver each side. Watson comes back across formation. This time they'll give it to him on the sweep. He's got space on that far side, gets across the 10. Now up to the 5 maybe before he gets knocked out of bounds, and inside the 5, I think, to the 4. So it's going to be a first down or near first and goal for Guthrie. They say first and goal. As they'll officially get him to the 4.
Brings up first and goal.
It looked like Ben Cheap forced him out of bounds, along with maybe Cooper Beener.
Just so much space though right now for this Guthrie run game, and it's getting 3, 4, or 5 guys out in space at the next level.
And the way that Guthrie was blocking going sideways like that was just incredible.
So 3:45 countdown here.
I think Calvert might QB sneak it up the middle, Tyler.
Harper in the gun with Harper assignment 1. They finally snap it, try to hand it off to Harper. He's got another hole, and he gets up in there for the touchdown. Jalen Harper will score again, and Guthrie's hung 40 in this first half. .43 to go. Harper adds another score to his already, I think he had 3 last week, so he's up to about 5 or 6 already on 2 games in on the season. As it'll be Noah French on for the point after. And this is the last one. See if he could get this one true. As there's a snap, ball down, kick in the air. That one looks like it's good. It is good.
And the extra point is good.
So 41 now, nothing here for the Blue Jays. 3:43 to go. That drive officially looks like, oh goodness, 49 seconds maybe? No, that's not right. That's not right, is it? Maybe. I think. I'm bad at math to kill it.
Me too.
3:34 would be a minute. They bounce back, what, 9 seconds? So 52 seconds, we'll call it, on that drive, I think. As officially, that's a 3-play drive, 23 yards, all on the ground there. Jalen Harper for Guthrie finishing it off. So we'll have kind of getting into about the 2-minute offense, not quite, you know. A lot of teams call this that 4-minute offense where you're in somewhat of a hurry, but not necessarily a full-on 2-minute drill.
It's going to be interesting to see what we do here on this kickoff. If we go with Ben Cheap again, or do we take the ace long?
Well, and I think that's wholly dependent on Guthrie, obviously, on what they want to do. They've kind of respected Ace. Gave him one good chance for the time, he busted one nearly.
I think they may have learned their lesson on that one.
Still trying to wait on them to get set up here.
Guthrie is that looks like we're ready. The whistle blows.
And so it is Ace long back. Deep, Ben Cheap on the far side. About the 6, Cheap, or excuse me, Long sitting about the 10. And here comes the kick from Guthrie. There it is. And that one will be skied in the air. End over end. Cheap going to take it on the far side. Going to cut across back to the 15 now. He's got one-on-one out there. Lowers the shoulder. Does get to the 20. before he's knocked out
Benchie
by
on the
actual
return.
Blue Jays, and that's where Woodward will take over here with 3:37 to go in the second quarter. Yeah, at this point, if anything, we're just trying to find a little success offensively.
Boomers take over on the 20-yard line.
Maybe you can find a little bit of a rhythm with just a few minutes left and possibly get the confidence rolling here going into the half.
That would be the goal. As Guthrie, similar to last week, really turned it on in the second quarter. That's what they did against Ponca City. Start picking up the touchdowns. They've done that here. It's just 14-0 after one. In the gun is going to be Douglas Fisher. He'll fake the handoff face along, try to take it to the near side, has some space. Ooh, gets cracked there, and they're going to call.
Ryan Douglas
I think
Fisher
that might be smell. I don't know what they're going to get the call. A flag came on the hit, it looked like. Douglas Fisher did get a few yards, but not a ton, as the officials will discuss. Let's see what the call will be.
Here comes the white hat.
Let's see what we've got.
Personal foul, targeting on Guthrie.
And they're going to call personal foul on Guthrie, a targeting maybe. Wasn't quite sure that it was that, but that's what they will call. In terms of, I didn't think it maybe deserved that call. And they're going to mark it off, so. Yeah. That looked, Dakota, kind of like a clean hit, but
I mean,
they called it, so.
You know, you had one guy coming out of bounds and shoving him, another guy running into him, so I don't know if it was a little late contact that we didn't see, but it kind of looked clean throughout the way until you got to the very end, but couldn't tell.
So Woodward will have it at the 35 now, 1st and 10 after the penalty. Personal foul after a 3-yard gain by Douglas Fisher. As he'll be in the gun, man in motion across. Ace long in the backfield with Douglas Fisher. 2 to the far, 1 near. They go with the quick pass out there. It's going to be Dawson Heckert on the catch. He'll fumble it as it got punched out from behind. Guthrie able to pick it up, and now they're on the run back. And it's another first half turnover here. It looks like there was Xavier Williams, I believe, the one that picked up the fumble. Couldn't see who punched it out, but Dawson Heckert had a little bit of space in front of him, and it just gets punched out from behind.
That's what you don't like to see. You think you got a little bit of momentum going now, and then Guthrie hits you with that.
And another turnover, unfortunately, for the Boomers, and another situation where we've got great field positioning for Guthrie. They'll take over at the Boomer 30. I guess they marked him out of bounds a bit sooner than we thought. So 3:04 to go here in the half now. As it'll be Calvert trying to take it up the middle off the fake handoff. He's got a bit of blocks ahead of him, fights forward, dives across what looks to be the yard marker there at the 20. We'll see if they give it to him. And it's going to be a first down, they will say, right on the marker at the 20. So 1st and 10 for the Blue Jays. They'll wind the clock. 2:40 to go here in the half. It's Calvert in the gun. Man in motion is Doyle's in front of the formation. Thomas in the backfield with Calvert. Low snap, but Calvert able to pick it up. Now has some blockers out in front, running to the near side. Tries to turn up field, gets to the 15. A flag comes down. This may be a holding as Calvert finally gets chopped down there just before the 10-yard line, maybe about the 12. And there's the flag. Call is going to be. I have a feeling this might be in the area of holding.
Looks like a block in the back against Guthrie.
No, and that is going to be against the Blue Jays. And they are moving back. And the hold, though, was up the field a bit, so it's not going to be exactly a first and very long for Guthrie. As it backs up to the 19, so they actually, I guess you could say, gain a yard on the hold.
A lot of events going on with just 2 minutes left.
So call it 1st and 10 again. Essentially backed it up as the snap handed off to Thomas. He's got a huge hole on the right side. He's going to skate into the end zone for another touchdown, untouched.
Another flag. Hold on, we got a flag here.
A very late flag here.
It's going to be delay of. Wait, what?
They call another holding on Guthrie. Wow, that is a late flag to throw that out there.
Late flag.
Wow.
When I had that so-on-so touchdown, Tyler. A lot of whistles were going in, so I was a little confused on what was happening there.
So where are they going to mark this hold at the line of scrimmage? Or what are they going to do here?
I was just confused on...
Line of scrimmage is 20, and that looks like where they're marking it off. So they're saying it happened pretty early. It was just a very late call. It's Coach Beebe over there on the far side for Guthrie trying to figure it out. As he really wants an explanation. I kind of don't blame him right there.
I mean, you get the touchdown, then you get it reversed. I mean, you can raise a couple questions.
15 to go. Guthrie will take a timeout here as they lead 41-0. And we'll see how Guthrie plays this, as they're going to have it back. It looks like they've got it at the 25 right now, so the holding occurred maybe a little bit more on the field than where we thought. Maybe they had delay game. That might have been a penalty.
Well, I was confused because he kind of went like this,
right.
And then he kind of.
Yeah, I couldn't see.
It was interesting. I want to say it was a delay of game, but I'm not 100%.
It would have to be. You can't make a holding call that late after the score. So it looks like it might have been instead a delay game. That might have been the call. So, because they backed it up to the 25. So not a hold. They're going to call a delay of game, it looks like, instead. So we were didn't quite see the full signal we thought we had there. So it'll be a delay game, 1st and 15 now. As Guthrie will have it. Calvert in the gun. Thomas with him. A receiver on each side. Tight end Doyle's on the far side. Calvert takes snap. It's a bit low, but he'll hand off to Thomas. A man there, though, for Woodward to blow him up on it. It's Colin Bourne again. Making the tackle, making the first contact, and able to slow him up there. And a gain of about a yard, it would seem. So it'll be a 2nd and 14.
The young guy getting it done again, Tyler.
Zane Thomas, a promising sophomore.
That was delayed.
Yeah, that's what, I mean, it had to be with the 5-yard call, yeah. So, minute 45 to go now in the half. Guthrie leads 41-0, trying to threaten on the Boomers for another score here at the Boomer 24. Calvert in the gun, man in motion across formation. Calvert will take snap and hand off inside again to Thomas. This time a big hole. He's up across the 15, now down to 10, and breaks free for the touchdown. Zane Thomas just followed the blocks and was able to break through again. This time the score is going to count for Guthrie. As they will make it 47-0 there. 24 yards out, Zane Thomas, the sophomore.
Man.
Officially that drive going to be about, looks like 3 plays. Excuse me, 4 plays. 30 yards. And now that's Jesus. That's the big man there. He's on for the extra point, and that is good.
The extra point is good.
So Jesus Flores good on his first attempt, and Guthrie leads it 47-0 officially here with a minute 27 to go in the half. That time of drive on that one.
That's a big boy out there, Tyler.
It is.
A whole 235 pounds.
I know. Minute 37 on the drive for Guthrie officially. In terms of game clock, so Woodward again going to have another chance at it. But it has unfortunately just kind of gone off the rails here in this first half. The turnovers have been the story. A few fumbles have really cost the Boomers.
I couldn't agree more. And it seems like a run on the offensive line for Guthrie, Tyler. Those guys are just pushing our defense back so much and creating so much room. So that's going to be a halftime adjustment we're going to have to make, is getting our guys more physical on the defensive line and the offensive line.
Well, I think it comes back to the point that, Coach talked about with this. Now you're at the point where we just got to keep fighting. You want to see that fight all the way through. I said 47, 48-0. I apologize. I did not count the extra point for some reason. So 48-0. Should know better because there's one extra point. This will be Ben Cheap, far side. Ace Long on the near for the kickoff. Guthrie set to send it. And there's the kick. End over under going to be filled up by Cheap. They're kicking away from Ace Long. As now Cheap gets across the 20, but not much further. There's Josh Varnell comes in and cracks him. And about looks like maybe the 21, 22-yard line. Nope. And so the Boomers will take back over with a minute 20 to go in the half.
And the Boomers take over on the 22-yard line.
They say officially the 22 for the Boomers. Minute 20 to go. As far as timeouts, it looks like Woodward with a timeout left here. So now you're in that 2-minute offense and pressing even further on that, so to speak. It'll be Ryan Douglas Fisher, going to be quarterback. 2 receivers to the far, 1 to the near. The near's been Cheap. Long course in the backfield with Douglas Fisher. And there's the snap taken. Douglas Fisher looking to pass on that short side. Tries to go to Cheap, and Cheap trying to lay out for it, and it's just incomplete. As Cheap was getting rolled up there as well by Xavier Williams, I believe.
Yep, you're right. Just right over the top of him. Wouldn't have really had too much time to bring it in. Williams had some great coverage there on Cheap.
Yeah, it was real tight on. So I'll bring up a 2nd and 10 now. Minute 18 to go. Clock stays stopped though. As Boomers finally get lined up here, Douglas Fisher going to be in the gun as usual. 2 to the far, 1 to the near. Same formation this time though. Ace Long flipped. Nope, never mind. He will be on the same side as he was the last time. That loaded box for Guthrie threatening. Now Douglas Fisher takes snap, hands it off to Ace Long, trying to get away. And boy, wrapping him up right there, making a good tackle. So you see that pullback, so to speak, from Tyler Giddings, the senior.
Brings up 3rd down and 13 yards to go.
3rd and 13 now as a call. They lost the 3. Ace just hadn't been able to really find any space to Dakota.
No, not getting enough space like you said. The way he goes on the outside, you know, there's just not enough blockers, it seems like. And you go inside, and Guthrie's D-line is just
they
too
got
heavy.
4 or 5 guys shooting those gaps, yeah.
They're just too heavy up front for us. And may have to air it out, but it looks like we're going to run it.
So 35 seconds to go, 3rd and 13 in the half. And Douglas Fisher backs pass under pressure immediately. This time, though, able to escape. Does get up to 20, makes a man miss, cuts up the edge, has room to run, but steps out. Oh, great feet there. Oh, that's a late push. That's a late push. I don't think they're going to call it, though. They're not going to call it. There's a bit of a late push there on the quarterback, and now we got a flag with some John. Unfortunately, yeah, Ace might be the culprit here because he was responding to the earlier contact. And they'll catch him being the guy that, you know, claps back.
The second guy always gets caught, Tyler.
Yep. So it was a good game by Ryan Douglas Fisher. We'll see how much is negated here. I believe this will probably wind up being on Woodward. We will see.
Wait a minute.
They're talking about it. They're going to call it on Woodward or Guthrie.
Look at the way the ref was standing.
I know. He was standing as if this is going to move further. I think they're trying to figure out. Where Douglas Fisher went out of bounds at. He was tiptoeing along that sideline.
And I think we're going to put. Is it going to go?
And it is against Woodward, as we thought. I was about to say, I don't think you call that against Guthrie because Ace Long, like you mentioned, was the one that jumped up there and was in the face of a guy.
Unsportsmanlike
penalty
on the Boomers.
Guthrie on that late hit, but they let him. Physical.
You know, we say late.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's a contact after contact, and you get tripped up and you get pushed down to the ground. It's not like you're. It's not like
It's not like they went out and clocked.
Yeah, not like you're pushing someone over behind your back.
Right. So they will try to still figure out where they're backing this up to. Looks like essentially back to where it was. Because that's going to be the case. The personal foul negates all the yardage essentially. But you'll keep the down, I believe.
And a little bit of an explanation here from the white hat.
Yeah. Still having a conversation here with Coach Gordon and the officials.
You know, with 25 seconds, what do we do here, Ty? Do you air it out? Do you run it? I mean, it's 3rd down.
Yeah, and that's, you know, kind of up to Coach Gordon. When you're down 48-0, you don't want to risk putting somebody, you know, in a spot to get hurt on a play, just trying to lob it up, you know, into half. But at the same time, you got to run your plays, and you got to approach it as if it's 0-0, I guess you could say. As it'll be Douglas Fisher in the gun, Ace Long with him, 2 to the far, 1 to the near. So he looks to be Ben Cheap. down to, I think they need to reset the play clock. Okay, so they call it 4th down. They're trying to, gave it a loss of down. So they're calling this 4th down. Interesting. I mean, it was a dead ball foul, so technically, yes, it was after the play. So if they said it backed up to not getting the 1st down. So now they finally, I think, just finally reset the play clock as they were trying to clarify things. So Woodward going to punt here on 4th and 14 is what they'll call it. As long back to punt, gets a bit of a high snap, but able to hit it and get it up to across the 40. Kind of a bad bounce as it bounces back and hits. Look like they're Jake Graff at the 40, and so that's where Guthrie will take over. 17 seconds to go in the half. Probably not going to do too much, I imagine. Just take it on a run in the half.
You stick around for halftime because the Boomer Band and your Boomer Dance team will be performing.
And looks like spot's going to be further up, they'll say. They've got the yard marker at like 33, maybe it looks like. That looks like that's going to be the case. And they just threw, why'd they just throw a flag? Oh, personal foul against the Boomers. So I don't know what the personal foul is going to be for here. Maybe somebody was jawing too much. I'm not sure.
Looks like a personal foul on the Boomer.
I didn't see anything, but yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely Case and Bourne down there. That was on coach giving him a little bit of a talking to.
Yeah.
Going inside for him, I think was Zane Weibel. I could be wrong.
No, you're right. It was 33 coming in.
Okay.
So Weibel replaces Bourne. I guess they flagged Bourne. He must have said some magic words.
I didn't see no contact or anything physical down there.
But if it's an official, obviously, if he directed that towards the official, you can't be saying
that's a no go.
Yeah, it's no go. So that
silly mistake. Coach Gordon will not let that fly.
And so they already mark it off, or they're still trying to mark off where this penalty is going to be enforced at. Looks like okay. So now they've got the sticks back at the 41. I think that's where they'll mark off the penalty. Nope, they're just placing it at the 41. Okay. So not a yardage penalty, just maybe more of a warning towards the ball. Still 17 seconds to go in the half. I can't imagine Guthrie going to try to run anything too complicated here.
I mean, they could. 17 seconds, Tyler. I mean, it's a lot of time with some people.
Calvert's going to be out there in a gun. Blake Doyle's beside him as the halfback. 2 to the far, 1 to the near for Guthrie, and sure enough, Calvert going to try to throw it here with 14 seconds, trying to look. Woodward's going to be on the pressure, and a great job by Josiah Beza getting the sack, and able to make the sack way back there at the 6, looks like that, 36. And Guthrie takes timeout, so I'm just going to kind of hold things here on the tongue there. Got some information on things that kind of maybe know why this is happening, but it's okay. We'll let it be. Josiah Beza with a great sack there. His first of the season, first by Woodward defensively.
Officiating crew down there talking things up.
Yeah. Guthrie does still have one more timeout. So 7 seconds here. Guthrie will have it on the 45, the Woodward 40. So it looks like the Blue Jays half 100, I guess, before the end of the half. That's going to be the goal. That's what they're aiming to do by taking this timeout. They are trying to score again. You could talk about whether that's the right move or not.
It's interesting. You don't see that a lot around high school sports. Usually most teams, take the knee, go to the locker room, and rest up. But Guthrie, not the case here, Tyler. It looks like they're trying to take out some anger.
4 spread out. Calvert in the gun. He's going to drop back to the pass. He's going to launch one deep. That one maybe has men. No, it's intercepted by the by the Boomers. Mason Boring makes the great play on the ball. And with 1 second to go in the half, Woodward will take back over. A second interception on the night by Calvert. Floating him out there too far.
He seems pretty pretty upset. Oh, Calvert just dumps over the water jug.
Well, you know, great pick by Mason Bourne. Great play. I'm sure Woodward probably just going to run. I mean, you're going to be way deep in your own territory here, so I wouldn't say you try to get too fancy. As you're back at your own 6. 1 second to go in the half. Imagine probably something safe. Maybe the knee. Oh, they moved it up to the 20? No, I would say that was not a touchback. I don't know how they got it up at the 20.
That's what I was confused.
That was clearly picked off in the field of play, not in the end zone.
It's kind of confused right there.
Okay, they do. Yeah, they do move it back to that 6-yard line. So I'm pretty sure Woodward here is probably going to try to take a knee to get into the locker room. No sense in trying to do anything crazy. Obviously, make sure you don't get a safety if you're Ryan Douglas Fisher. Be careful where you kneel it. And sure enough, just takes the knee, and that's going to be that.
And at the half, the Guthrie Bluejays lead the Woodward Boomers.
So Guthrie will lead 48-0 here as we go into the break over the Boomers. Go ahead and step aside, come back with the halftime show. You're listening to Boomer Football on Boomer TV and Z92.
Life never stops moving. Between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, and that weekend trip to Grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up, like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety you expect, you can lose track of the miles and focus on what really matters, the memories made along the way. Stop in today at 2220 Main in Woodward to see your local Michelin dealer, Pipe Lanes Tire.
For the past 58 years, Klein Mechanical has served Woodward and Northwest Oklahoma for all your residential or commercial needs, including plumbing, HVAC, electrical, and construction. One call does it all. Located at 1301 Main Street, or give them a call at 256-5014. Good luck, Boomers.
When you want the best pricing and no gimmicks on office supplies, furniture, electronics, and gifts, do yourself a favor. Stop by Divine Stationery and Radio Shack in Woodward at 2121 Oklahoma Avenue, or call 580-256-7040. Serving Northwest Oklahoma since 1939.
Childhood should be the happiest time of life. But for many children living in poverty with blindness, facial deformities, and other crippling conditions, it's riddled with pain, rejection, shame, and isolation. At Mercy Ships, we're answering the cries of some of the world's most forgotten children and adults through free, life-changing surgeries that turn despair into hope. These once heartbroken boys and girls, and many men and women too, are now restored, accepted, and on their way to new lives full of opportunity and joy. No one can change the world on their own, but with God's help, we can transform it by restoring hope to one person, one child at a time. Volunteers from your community and around the globe, or joining Mercy Ships to bring life-changing healing and hope to the forgotten poor. To learn how you too can help change the world one child at a time, go to mercyships.org today.
And welcome back here to Boomer Football. Conan Wagner and Tyler Riggs with you as we are at the half. Guthrie leads this one 48-0
Ladies and gentlemen,
over the Woodward Boomers, and it's just been
Woodward Public Schools
unfortunately a struggle here to come
Woodward Boomer Band,
for Woodward.
pride of Northwest Oklahoma in their first home performance.
Perform for the first time this year at
will
the
be
half.
performing the first
We're watching
two
on
movements of their
TV
2023
right
marching
now.
show, Reimagined.
Check that out, I should
The
say,
band
if you have
is
a
led
camera
on
on
the
it.
field by senior drum majors
Unfortunately, I
Iris
don't quite
Chen,
have my, we don't have our field
Elena
mic,
Fletcher,
so we're just going to let
Gracie
them
Thompson.
play. But again, if you want to tune in to Boomer TV on YouTube,
Drum
see the
majors
band play here, led
Iris
by
Chen,
Jason Crockett
Elena Fletcher, and
as
Gracie
the
Thompson.
instructor in the crew.
Is
Again,
your
special shout out to do
band
here at the
ready?
half, I think.
Oh yeah, Rodney Washman with the Woodward FFA chapter came and got us. He was raising money for the shooting sports team to get some clay pigeons and the shells they use, along with some other stuff for the shooting sports program. But got to give him a shout out, Rodney Washman and the Woodward FFA chapter, bringing us some onion burgers. Thank you guys, that was awesome.
And I believe I had a tent out front today cooking those onion burgers. What, $7 for an onion burger?
Yeah, and I think they're maybe still cooking them. Might go check that out if you're not busy.
Yeah, if you want to check that out halftime here, if you got somebody at the stadium that looking for some food here at the half, maybe or into the second half, see if they still got any left.
I mean,
very delicious burgers.
Very, very delicious.
So can't beat a good old classic onion burger. And yeah, definitely shout out to that bunch for helping us indulge in a little bit of that. But looking at the halftime recap here, talking about these drives, how things kind of got going, and how it got rolling for the game. Guthrie took the first drive, 80 yards, 9 plays, 256. With a 6-yard touchdown run by Jalen Harper to get him on the board. Fast forward midway through the first quarter, Woodward would fumble it on their third play of their first drive. Guthrie recovers at the Woodward 2, and that's punched in a 2-yard touchdown run by Hayden Calvert on that to make it 14-0. On the next drive, Woodward had a chance, got an interception, got a big kick return from Ace Long there, and started with some great field position after Guthrie 19. Unfortunately, after a sack and a couple of incomplete passes, which saw them have an opportunity to score, just couldn't quite connect. They would miss a 45-yard field goal, so it remained 14-0 at that point. You go further on here into the second quarter, where Guthrie really started to turn it on. It was just 14-0 after the first. Early second quarter, one play, 16-yard touchdown run by Jalen Harper, set up again by another Woodward fumble. That makes it 21-0 there. With a 9:43 left in the half, Guthrie gets a 17-yard run from Zane Thomas, the sophomore, off a 2-play drive. Woodward had went for it the drive before on fourth down, could not convert, and gave it to Guthrie in points territory. And then 7:18 to go in the second quarter, 14-yard touchdown run. This time by Delonte Glover, the big man. The defensive tackle was actually played a little bit of offense back in his earlier days. They handed it to him. He goes 14 yards for the score, makes it 34-0 at that point. Another fumble by Woodward on their next possession at the Woodward 23. They will convert 4 plays later to make it 41-0, 4-yard touchdown run by Jalen Harper. And then, lost the drive right there. Okay, there we go. 3 minutes to go in the half. Sees the last score of the half as Guthrie went 4 plays, 30 yards. Got a 24-yard touchdown run on a 4th down. This time, I believe, let's see your number-wise, that might have been Harper again on that touchdown run as he sprinted to the end zone. Ron Thomas on that. And then you finish the half there, interception by Mason Bourne right before the half as Guthrie was trying to throw it to break 50 on Woodward. Did not come up there and get it. So that's how we got here at the half. 48-0. Guthrie does lead. We will step aside for a quick break. And you're listening to Boomer Football on Z92.
Are you searching for that perfect special attire? Look no further. The Top Cat Formal Wear and Accessories at 808 Main Street in Woodward. Top Cat has a beautiful line of bridal, special occasion, and prom dresses to choose from. With no 2 dresses alike, you'll always get that special look. They guarantee the perfect fit for tuxedos at no extra cost and carry men's wear for all your needs. Visit TopCatFormal.com or call 580-256-2888 to book your appointment now. Store hours are 10 a.m. through 5 p.m. Monday through Friday and by appointment only on Saturday. Top Cat also offers layaway. Let Top Cat help you shine on your special day.
Transitioning from being a Marine to a civilian was very hard. I lost my purpose. I lost the drive that I had. That is a very dark and lonely place to be. It took me surrendering to myself to get the help that I needed. At my very first Wounded Warrior Project event, I met Ray Pizarro. He told me you need to have the courage to forgive yourself for the things you've done in the past. I got it tattooed on my hand. One night, my depression kept telling me, we can end this. And just before I was about to pull the trigger, I looked down at my hand, and that's what saved my life that night. That was the beginning of my incredible journey with the Wounded Warrior Project.
See how we help warriors combat stigma at woundedwarriorproject.org/combat stigma.
Connections make powerful things happen, uniting individuals and communities. We are Rotary. We are people of action. With over 1 million members, we know what people can do when they come together. Around the world, generations of leaders build new friendships and solve problems, turning great ideas into reality. Take action with us. Find out more at rotary.org/action.
And welcome back to Boomer Football here on Z92 at the half. Just you're watching on Boomer TV. Saw a great performance from the Boomer Band at their halftime routine there. First of the season in the home opener. Unfortunately, football team trails 48-0 here against the Bluejays. Guthrie, as advertised so far in this one, knew they were going to be a potential contender in 5A, and they were showing as much. Unfortunately for the Boomers, it just seems like turnovers were the story of that first half, where you had some drives, the defense was able to come up with some stops, but the offense just hasn't been able to see any sort of togetherness. They're just not there right now.
Yeah, it seemed like we had, what, 2 fumbles?
3, yeah.
And then we had a couple of penalties for, unfortunately, just saying some things we probably shouldn't have said.
Right.
So at this point, you got to go look into it. Okay, it's 0-0, even though it's not. You got to think of it going into the second half.
Welcome back to Boomer Stadium. The 2023-24 Jets team is so excited for football season and to perform for the community.
That's
Enjoy their high-energy Congress team, and let's go Boom! Welcome to the field, your defending 5A Palm State
well, to that point, it doesn't matter. It's on their second string, third string, fourth string. They're going to be physical. Those guys are going to play as hard as they can, no matter what string is in. But, yeah, I think you're right. You just got to treat it as a 0-0 mindset, try to go in that second half, and see what improvements you can make from that first half, because offensively, you have to find some rhythm somewhere. And let's look at some scores around the 4A class right now. Of course, 4A won the district here for the Boomers. Some of those teams competing right now. Kingfisher actually beating Weatherford 14-13 at the half. Weatherford fell to a very talented Newcastle team last week. Kingfisher also trying to bounce back after a loss to Clinton. Another score of note here, Bethany all over John Marshall in the second quarter, 31-6. And Elk City played Bridge Creek last night. Elk City won that game 28-8. The Elks look to be as advertised again. They were top of the district last year, and they're right back there this year. Bishop McGinnis taking on Clinton. That's a fun matchup there. McGinnis actually beating the Red Tornadoes 14-0 at the half. Clinton had that win over Kingfisher last week. And trying to see if we got any others of note here in 4A at least for us. Cash taking on Altus. Cash in the first quarter early leads 7-6 over the Altus Bulldogs in that one. And Dakota looks like that kind of wraps up the 4A1 scores for the week. Do want to mention, of course, at this time, overall K101, Sean Kelly, CJ Montgomery, I believe the good doctor, Representative Carl Newton there, Chris Eubanks, I potentially believe stopped in as well. I had a lot of guests.
Very important announcement.
Of course, they spoke to White Hair White Hat game night, but they are running Friday night quick scores.
Selling grilled onion
quick scores.
hamburgers down by the concession area.
I mean, not going to find anything like it. 40 years of quick scores covering the best and the brightest of the tri-state, both in northwestern Oklahoma, southwest Kansas, and the Texas Panhandle. Of course, keeping you up to date on what's happening in the rest of the
Woodward
state of Oklahoma as well.
selling grilled onion hamburgers down by
what
the
a program!
area.
And man, so excited, always excited to be a part of Friday Night Quick Scores. Of course, we'll join them after this game. Go over there for the fifth quarter, and if you're out there listening, either to this game or if, you got somebody that's out in the area watching, attending another game, whatever. Hey, call into fifth quarter, 580-256-4101. Give your viewpoint of the action that occurred tonight. If you went out to the game, you want to brag on some of those kids, whatever you may do, we'd love to hear from you in the fifth quarter as we run down some of those scores. And with that, we'll step aside for another break here.
And you know what time it is?
Show.
Get up and
You're listening to the Boomer Football on Z92.
And feel free to dance around and sing along.
You know better. It's the little things that matter most. That's why you'll appreciate the enduring value of the Michelin Defender tire. Designed for doers like you, Michelin's longest-lasting tire keeps you on the go longer, so you have one less thing to worry about on your next road trip. Stop for miles of uncompromised safety and performance. Visit your local Michelin dealer, High Plains Tire, at 2220 Main in Woodward.
It was a normal day.
He was in some minor accident, a fender bender.
And I had this impulse to call him, but I didn't. I thought I could call him later that week.
He abandoned the car, he came home, and he shot himself without ever talking to anyone.
when I came home that night and I found her, they told me that she had shot herself, and I couldn't believe it. I asked if he was okay.
Taking a gun into your house for protection is a terrible miss.
Once you pull that trigger, that's it. There is no coming back.
65 Americans a day die by gun suicide. Store your gun securely, locked, unloaded, and away from ammunition. Help stop suicide. Learn more at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
Possibilities are all around us. We see potential in unexpected places. And when we share our knowledge, vision, and connections, we turn great ideas into action. Together, we can make real change happen. We're Rotary. We are people of action. Get involved today at rotary.org/action.
Where you stand?
Here on C92, Coach Wagner, Tyler Riggs with you. As we sit at the half here, 48-0, the Boomers trail to the Blue Jays. And so we talked about some of those things to maybe look forward to in the second half for Woodward. Some of the things you could do. I think you put it well at this point. You just got to, pretend, hey, 0-0, win that second half, go show some fight offensively, and start to find some groove. I think defensively there was instances where they found it, but that Guthrie running game was tearing them up as well.
Like you said, back to the defense there, the Woodward defense kind of did start to offensively find their rhythm and start to click. We saw Peyton Carter glimpses of him starting to find ways to get in there and create some separation and gaps for him to squeeze in there and get a sack or two. So if we can continue to get good on defense and continue to, what am I trying to say here? Pump the blood up and get some confidence back in it. Maybe we can transition that to some of our offensive guys and try to get them pumped up as well.
Try to find that energy, so to speak. And, I would say so there. And we'll see how the quarterback snaps play, as we saw a little bit of Cash Carter in that first half at QB, the freshman. And then, of course, Ryan Douglas Fisher handling the main bulk of the snaps. We'll see who else we get maybe in there. Running back Colin Bourne, I believe, is listed as the RB2 if they were to take out Ace Long. So
now here comes
let's welcome back to the field, your Woodward Boomers!
About 3 minutes ago before we get to the start of the second half. We want, at this time, of course, thank the great sponsors with us we have here on Z92 for the season. High Plains Tire, a gold sponsor with us, been a long-time sponsor of Boomer Athletics. Top Cat Formwear and Accessories, Divine Stationery Radio Shack, Prime Mechanical, Northwest Glass, Great Plains National Bank, and a Large Sots Bar and Grill, who is our Coaches Show host. And Dakota, I mentioned we were going to talk about that softball team. I didn't quite get the time there in the pregame as we kind of ran out of time. But I do want to mention, we were on the broadcast in Oak City for that tough loss they had Tuesday. District contest, tight one. Oak City made the plays at the end yesterday. The Woodward softball team hosted Mount St. Mary's in district action, and boy, did they come back in a big way with a 10-0 win, and then follow that with a 12-2 win over the Mount St. Mary's Tigers. Who else? Kylie Mills, man. Really went off. Or Kaylee Mills, I said Kylie, goodness. She was a winning pitcher in both those games, struck out 16 total in the doubleheader. Briley Douglas Fisher, star catcher, 4 for 7 on the doubleheader. Did have a home run as well, got a big bop.
Awesome.
So was able to get that, and that's what you like to see. So now the Boomers, we talked about with them plenty here, is you're already over your win total in the season. They now go to 15-6 and sit at 6-3 in district play. This Woodward team, after only winning 10 games last year, could push for 20.
Man, they are definitely in the right direction. I think we're covering them Tuesday. Tuesday? Or is it a week from
maybe
Tuesday?
a week from Tuesday. I have to double check that schedule, but we definitely have a few more Boomer softball games with you here. Stretch of home games towards the end of the season that we will absolutely be covering. They kind of wrap up their regular season by the end of this month. Obviously, September 1st, you'll be done with the regular season. About September 24th, 25th, somewhere in there, and be looking for playoffs, it looks like. So Coach J.C. Dolphin, her first year, doing a fantastic job with that group. Got a great mix of senior talent, some junior talent, a little bit of sophomores, and a freshman or two as well. Of course, Mills, the winning pitcher we talked about, a freshman. So, man, can't tell you how fun it is to watch that team if you haven't come out and watch them. So with that, Dakota, as we get ready to get this second half underway, is there anything else that comes to mind other than what you mentioned about, trying to keep a fresh mindset, higher energy? Is there anything you're personally looking for? Maybe, how does Woodward open some of those holes in the run game? I mean, how do they deal with this Guthrie pressure? Because it has been relentless so far.
Well, I feel like your offensive line's got to stay physical. You can't give up even what's on the scoreboard. You got to think of it as 0-0 going into the second half. I know, like we said, that's not on the scoreboard, but you got to think it going into the second half. You got to stay physical up front with your offensive line. You got to continue to start push and try to find open gaps. But at the same time, if you're ace long, you got to look around. You got to be a little bit more aware. I feel like Ace maybe hasn't opened up his eyes all the way through the field. There's been a couple of gaps, maybe hit and miss, but you just got to continue to stay physical. Don't give up.
Yeah, and to your point about Ace, just really, hadn't had much. I mean, like I said, maybe a hole or two here and there.
Other than that, I mean, it's been
no
shut
daylight.
down.
It absolutely has. The most space he had was that kickoff return.
No joke.
Well, we saw what he did with it, but that's really been about the most space he's truly had in this one so far. As both teams should be getting back to the sidelines here as clocks. Okay, gotcha. So they're going to run the clock in the second half, which means, essentially Guthrie kind of knows they've got this one in hand. Woodward understands that, and so you're going to get that continuous clock. And now this is where what we were talking about a second ago, kind of that opportunity to try to grow and find something to stick here. Look, folks, I mean, Coach Gordon told us about it before the season, said, hey, this is not going to be a process that occurs in one night.
No.
Or 1 week for that matter, or 1 month.
It's going to take many months, many years to be, it could.
Well, for him to try to establish that culture, we've talked about Hayes try to go not only from the high school and middle school all the way down to the Pee Wee. He wants to be around for that long and really invest in these guys from the bottom up, so to speak, from the time they first played football all the way through. So that's something I think you can respect. And you could, if you're a player out there, you're playing for that at this point. Say, hey, we got to show those young guys out there, whether it's the middle schoolers, the elementary guys or Pee Wee guys, that you don't give up on anything.
I'm very curious to see if he is going to, maybe put some of the players that didn't play in the first half into the second, maybe get them into the mix as well. But, I feel like Gordon's going to continue to move guys around throughout the third and fourth quarter in different positions and try to figure out who he really wants out on the field.
Yeah, and, look, it's a team that was 1-9 last year. Every spot's up for grabs, right? Everybody's got to earn their spot because you can't say, well, hey, I was part of that 10-win team last year. That didn't happen. So you've got to go out there and keep earning. I think you're right. Give somebody, might wind up giving some other guys opportunities, see if, they take advantage of it. I think that's what comes down to.
And then again, you have to think about it this way, that Woodward really, honestly, didn't get a whole lot of opportunities offensively just because of the mistakes, the fumbles, the penalties, just the silly stuff. And so maybe in the second half, even though you're going to have the continuous clock and not as much time as you would like, maybe you can start to find that rhythm, start to piece some things together leading into next week.
Definitely. So, and Woodward should be receiving this one to start the second half as they deferred to start the game. The Boomers will be making the trip to Bethany next week. Do want to let you know that. Of course, taking on Broncos, who are taking care of John Marshall at the moment. And that will be an interesting trip as Bethany's lost a decent amount of talent on that team in the last couple of graduating classes. That being said, they've got usually a pretty salty program down there, so it'll be interesting to see how that game goes. Non-district contest. After that, the Boomers will be back here at home on the 15th against Newcastle, a very, very talented Newcastle team. Then on the 22nd, they're on the road to begin district play against Cash. And that will kick things off there. They'll get Weatherford at home after that to end the month on September 29th. Going to the October schedule now with Chickasha at Chickasha. They're on the 6th on a Thursday, the fall break week. They'll take on John Marshall and John down there on the road. and then come back for a non-district game on the 19th against Cashion, and finally end the season with Elk City. The Elks there on the road. It looks like both teams is huddled up here, getting ready to break those huddles to get the second half rolling. Guthrie will be kicking it. Boomers will get the first crack of the second half on offense. Sun is set. Temps maybe get a little cooler out there. I think overnight lows tonight get down to about that 65 range. So a cool night if you're out there. By the time we get deep into it. Bluejays out onto the field. Boomers get out there. It'll be Ace Long and Ben Cheap returning, and we'll see if they continue to kick it to Cheap. They have done that. Oh, Ben maybe catching a cramp right now on his arm. Ooh. I think he's catching a cramp on his right arm, right before the wrist area, kind of working it out. Yeah. So, anyways, we'll see if they continue to try to kick it to him as they've tried to shy away from Cash, or not from Cash, but from Ace after that big return he had.
And in front of those guys is going to be Kason Boren as well as Luke Parkhurst.
Yep, yeah, as Guthrie has tried to squib it a few times as well. And this time it looks like they're going to try to force Guthrie kick it to Ace. Has now been Cheap instead of being out on the far hash, is up in front of Ace. And Cheap is standing at about the 16-17. Ace is a little deeper back at about the 7 or 8.
Coach Gordon is having a word with the white hat down there on the field. And now they'll part ways.
Probably making sure they got everything squared away there. Formation-wise and all. Still got a good crowd sticking around. Got to appreciate that for the home opener. As the Blue Jays are sitting ready to go. 12 minutes on the clock as we get ready to start the second half. There's the jog and the kick. This one is going to be an end over under deep to Ace Long, so they'll give him a chance here. He'll fill it at about the 8. Now tries to cut up the middle. Gets across the 15 and gets popped down there at the 20
Ace
by a
Long
couple
on the return. Boomers take over on the 20-yard line.
Will take over.
Now you like to see him carry it up the middle and fight for those extra yards, but man, some of those Blue Jays really are pretty powerful, muscular out there and knocking him down.
They can bring the punch. There's no doubt about it. So first and 10 for Woodward. It looks like going to do that Ryan Douglas, and it looks like a bit of an odd pistol set here. 3 backs surrounding Douglas Fisher and the pistol receiver on each side. And he'll hand it off to that. It's going to be Dawson Heckert who'll try to run on the sweep there. It looks like, unfortunately, for Heckert, going to be a loss of 2, and we continue to see that to Dakota Guthrie just is able to sniff out those sweeps, those, runs to that far side so well. So it'll be a second and 12 now from the 18.
I agree with you. It just seems like when we find like we can do a little bit of trick play, they just read it too quick and they're on us. They're very, very fast and physical.
Same says the last play for the Boomers. Douglas Fisher going to hand off this time to Ace Long, and Long not going to go. Excuse me, that is not Ace because he does not have the cleats that Ace has. Looks like Cooper Latal maybe. Nope, that is Colin Bourne. So as we figured, Bourne maybe getting a couple carries here, and unfortunately he's going to lose 3 on this one. So Boomers backing it up again.
Getting the young guy some reps in, and that's what I like to see.
Well, and being smart with Ace, this is a game where you don't need to stress, try to push them too hard when you're already down.
Damage is already done, so
right.
you try to find other ways around so you can better yourself for the next one.
Time to sit again. Douglas Fisher takes the snap, fake the handoff, looking to pass here on 3rd and long. It's trying to go over the middle, had a man, but it's incomplete as Parkhurst was at about the 30, and it would have been a tight catch to make. He had his hands on throw Dakota and just couldn't bring it down. Tough defense for the Blue Jays.
He did, and now he puts his hands over his helmet, and he's in just kind of disbelief that he couldn't actually grab on that one and take it for the first down. But, hey, that was a good look.
Got to give credit to Douglas Fisher. Bit of a risky throw, but he zipped it in there just over. It looked like about the linebacker safety, and then Parkhurst just couldn't make the catch. So that'll bring up a 4th and 15 now for Woodward.
Gotta get a little credit to the O-line there as they were
getting good time.
Yeah, enough to hold off a little
Long
bit.
to punt here. Snap was high, he corralled it, and that foot a touch weird. decent bump, but still going to give Guthrie plus territory, as it looks like they'll take over at about the Woodward 39. For their first drive in the second half.
On the 39-yard line.
We'll see if it remains the first string in or not. And it is going to be, looks like, the starters. So Coach BB trying to get some extended runs for his first string here. As Hayden Calvert will be back out there, the quarterback. Jalen Harper, the running back. And I don't know why they're backing this up now. Okay, they move it back to the 45.
Unless it took a bounce that we don't know about.
Not sure they're rolling there, so they'll start at their own 45. Remember, running clock here. No clock stoppages other than change of possession. And so now Guthrie set up 1st and 10 at their own 45. Calvert in the gun, receiver on each side. Harper in the backfield with him, fakes the handoff, looking to pass. Haven't done a lot of it. He's under pressure, and that was going to be picked off. Snagged by Zane Weibel. He's going to try to get the return going. Across the 50, down into Guthrie territory, back at the 46. Third pick of the night from Hayden Calvert. And Dakota, you got to give the Boomers credit for being able to continue to stay on their toes on these picks.
But at the same time, slow to get up is junior number
Zane Weibel on the
Eli
interception.
Flagg, the tight end.
You know, I played, I believe, with his older brother.
Injury timeout.
Unfortunately, don't want to see this. Of course, this heat could play an effect, and hopefully he'll be all right. Looks like he'll be all right working out the leg break. We'll step aside with him real quick.
Let's
on
show
this
some
injury timer.
sportsmanship
Actually,
and give him a round
excuse
of
me, he is
applause.
up very quick. We'll keep it right here. So good to see Flagg back up there for Guthrie. Don't want to see any injuries this early in the season, that's for sure, and much less at all.
Yeah, some of the coaches frustrated down there from Woodward as they were trying to get in a little bit of a huddle, and they quickly had to break out of it. As like you said, Eli Flagg goes out. He seems to be okay, goes out into the other side of the bench.
So 9:09 to go in the third. The Boomers generate the turnover, but the offense just hadn't been able to get anything going.
Maybe that interception right there will give the Boomers a little bit of confidence / momentum.
They continue this Diamond said Ace Long will stay off the field offensively, as it will be Colin Boren, the deep back. Douglas Fisher in at quarterback, receiver each side, Ben Cheap to the near. Looks like Parkhurst is going to be to the far. Remember, this is supposed to be running clock, but on a change of possession, it stops, so we're still at a stop clock. As soon as they get the ball set, we will run it again, and there it goes.
Back on.
So 1st and 10 for Woodward at the Guthrie 46. Snap taken by Douglas Fisher, fakes the handoff, a little option. He'll pitch it out there. That's going to be Hecker. That was a face mask, and they got it. As Hecker was dragged down by the face mask, it was going to be a big loss, but instead it'll be a personal foul and 15 yards.
You know, wait for Dawson Hecker to stay in there, even though all the contact. I mean, he was getting pretty roughed up down there.
He was. So there it is, and we'll see. I don't know if it'll be enough for the first. That's the problem, because this was deep in the backfield.
Quarterback pitch to Dawson Ecker.
So this may not wind up being a first down. Depending on where they start this, it looks like a few yards back. See where they officially spot it.
Man, official.
Well, they are going to take it to the first down, okay?
Whoa.
They're going to take it right to, it looks like maybe the 35 from the 46. That's what it'll be. Nope, excuse me, 34. So a 12-yard gain essentially after the penalty.
Face mask brings up a Boomer first down.
So Woodward will have it 1st and 10 at the Guthrie 34 now. Douglas Fisher in the diamond, pistol look. 2 receivers, 1 on each side. He'll take the snap. He tries to hand it off, and it's on the ground. That was Ace Long he was trying to hand it off to, and it's on the ground. Douglas Fisher has a fall on it, and it'll be a big loss here on first down, as he'll be back to the 40, maybe the 41. They'll say the 40.
It's too much miscommunication there, Tyler.
Yeah, it's one of those deals where, you know, when they're teaching the read option, if you will, right, you've got to either hand that off and stick it in there and make sure your guy knows it's there, or if you pull it out, you can't make the late decision. So 2nd and 15 now, we'll say. It should be 16. As in the gun is Douglas Fisher. Diamond Fakes the handoff, looking to pass, going to chunk one down the sideline. Ben Cheap coming back into the field of play to get it. Unfortunately, I think he stepped out of bounds. And so it's going to be illegal touching, but it looked like he was maybe forced out, but that's not going to be the call. They're going to say illegal touching. The catch is going to be negated. As Ben, calm down there, buddy. Calm down. Don't get tacked on for a personal foul. Should be illegal touching, unfortunately, on Woodward. As Ben Cheap did go out of bounds. So he was battling with Xavier Williams there down the sidelines.
Yeah, you're right. So it looks like him and Williams did get caught up around, I think, the 20 or so yard line. It looks like Ben was trying to cut back, and it just unfortunately, you're right, did step out of bounds.
So that will negate the catch. They've got it up at the 18. I guess they'll mark it from the illegal touching on the penalty, so we'll see where it winds up. Not sure. Yep. There it goes. And so now they're moving it back proper. Okay.
Man, with the running clock, Tyler, we're only at 8 minutes.
Because we've had these stoppages with penalties, yeah. And so it's going to push it way back for the Boomers now as they get pushed back into their own territory on the illegal touching penalty. It is going to be a second and very long here. They got to get up to the 24 in Guthrie territory, but they're at their own 45. So Douglas Fisher in that pistol, diamond look, receiver on each side. And he'll take snap. Bit of a broken miscommunication there. He's just going to go around the end. Does get a couple yards.
Ryan Douglas Fisher on the quarterback keep.
Maybe one. Nope, they leave it two. So he's going to bring up a third and a long.
You know, you like to see the Jets right there and him try to go.
Actually, they didn't even give him a game. Goodness. Thought
Really?
they at least gave him a game. Not the case. They said he stepped out.
Wow.
So 3rd and 30. .7:15 and counting down to go in this quarter. Boomers trail 48-0 together. Trying to find some here on 3rd and 30. Diamond formation again. Receiver each side. Douglas Fisher ready to take the snap. Does. Fakes the handoff. Under pressure immediately from Monroney, and that's going to be... and now some flags as Douglas Fisher... Oh, boy.
Are we going to get intentional grounding and then a late hit? Is that what we're
Now,
going to
Douglas Fisher drug Monroney with him all the way out of bounds and threw him down at the end of the play. That's some frustration coming out. And so that's going to push Woodward probably further back.
Ugh. Coach Gordon, I don't know if he's agreeing or if he's soaking it in down there.
Well, there's some fighting going on between them. I think he's trying to plead his case for his guy, but I don't think you're going to win that when Douglas Fisher was the one to throw him down.
Intentional grounding.
And then the personal foul.
Personal foul.
So it's going to be 4th and extremely long for the
Boomers and personal foul on the Boomers.
So this is going to be 4th and forever for the Boomers. 4th and maybe 2 country miles instead of 1. It looks like they're going to maybe try to go for it. They're trying to figure out how to mark this off. It should be both assessed because you march off the intentional grounding, and then the personal foul is tacked onto that. I think Guthrie declined the personal foul. Nope. Okay, so they marked off the intentional grounding. Now they go for the personal foul. Okay. But I was confused for a second. So Guthrie is now, or excuse me, Woodward now backed up all the way to their own 19 for this 4th down play. They're leaving it as 3rd. Huh, okay. So 3rd down, I guess. Thought that'd be 4th because the intentional grounding.
And now they're going to change.
Now it is, yeah, now it's 4th. Okay, that's right. It is 4th down because the intentional grounding. So they're going to call 4th and 56 here now is what they'll say. Coach, it's 4th down. As there's some bait going on there as Ace Long is out to punt. And now Coach Gordon clarifying. He's trying to figure out, because they had that illegal touching, Dakota. I think that's what's throwing everybody off. That illegal touching was not a 1st down. because the pass was negated. So I think they do have it correct at 4th down. So they're trying to get that out. Coach Gordon says we're good. So 4th down, it will be a punt for the Boomers. Here on 4th and 56. Zong again gets a high snap and does get it off. Has to go a bit higher than he would like. That's going to be returned here by Guthrie. A quick move, a juke, another juke down the sideline and breaking it free. Oh, tripped up there though. On that return was Tariq Watson, the senior, able to break it there. Almost took it to the house, did get it back. Looks like, oh, they're going to mark him out further back than I thought. They're going to say he stepped out of bounds on the sideline back to the 31.
And the Bluejays will take over on the 31-yard line.
Still 6:44 to go in the 3rd quarter here. Guthrie will take back over in Boomer territory at the 31. Guthrie one staying out there. Make of you will with that. It'll be handoff up the gut to, there's Jalen Harper, and he breaks free for a decent gain, at least a 1st down plus, across the 20 down to, it looks like the 19, maybe the 18. Looks like they'll say the 19.
Levi Harris on the tackle.
Call it a gain of 12. So 1st and 10 for Guthrie now in the red zone here. Approaching on 6 minutes to go in the quarter. Calvert on the gun, receiver each side. Harper with them. They're going to hand off to Harper again. Huge hole for Harper on the right side. He's busting it to the 5, easily into the end zone for Jalen Harper.
Touchdown,
and it's an 18-yard touchdown run for Guthrie. Goodness. Pouring it on now. 2 plays, and they will call that one. 53 seconds, I believe. Total on the game clock and 31 yards. As Guthrie ready to attempt the extra point here, try and make it 55-0. There's the kick, and that one is good.
And the extra point is good.
So a 5:53 to go in the 3rd quarter. Guthrie all over Woodward in this one, 55-0. We'll step aside for a break. You're listening to Boomer Football on Z92.
Medicaid and CHIP offer free or low-cost health coverage for children and teens. Hospital and doctor visits, prescriptions, shots, and more are covered. That's peace of mind for parents if a child is sick or gets injured. And parents may now be eligible for Medicaid too, even if they've applied in the past. Enrollment is always open. Visit insurekidsnow.gov or call 1-877-KIDS-NOW. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
And welcome back to Boomer Football on Z92. Right on time. After tacked on another score, 2 plays, 31 yards. It was Jalen Harper picking up his 4th touchdown of the game with an 18-yard run. Again, had a huge hole on that far side. That's just been kind of the thing tonight. Guthrie has blocked it up extremely well. And really, that 263 they put on Pocket City on the ground was no joke, as they were following that back up with another big-time performance.
Here comes the big man kicking it for the Bluejays.
As it looks like Ace Long will be by himself back there to receive this kick. And he's going to field it far hash, about the 8. Gets the return started, gets up to the 20, tries to fight forward to the 25. I don't think he quite got there.
On the return. Boomers take over on the 25-yard line.
Either way, the Boomers take back over with 5:41 to go. Well, it's supposed to be, running clock, but they're stopping it on change of possessions and everything. And they will give the Boomers the 25, so that's where they will begin their drive. As there goes the clock. Ryan Douglas Swisher out there Ace Long going to be out there as well as a running back, I believe. Heckert and Colin Bourne, maybe that diamond formation again. Near side receiver looks to be Ben Cheap. Far side's going to be Parkhurst for the Boomers. So we're down to 3 on the play clock, 2-1. They're going to get a flag here.
Yeah, they are.
And there's no flag yet. There it is, 5. As yeah, that clock hit zeros. This will be a delay game on the Boomers. And they'll push it back 5.
Delay of game penalty on the Boomers. Pushes them back 5 yards.
So instead of 1st and 10, you'll start 1st and 15.
Man, can't catch a break, can you?
Not quite. Douglas Fisher in the gun with that diamond formation around him. He'll take the snap, hand it off to Ace Long. A little bit of a hole there. Long able to gain back the penalty yards as he gets up to the 20 and across it. Or, excuse me, penalty yards, Jesus. Gets back like 2. I apologize. It's hot.
It is. There you go, Tyler.
Oh, you got the fan. Look at that. Look at that.
Came
so gets the line of scrimmage, baby, and gains 1. That's what I was trying to say. Jeez.
You know, they took away our nice box fan.
Oh, yeah, I think the little mini fan's better.
Thank you.
2nd and 14, or yeah, 2nd and 14 for the Boomers. Douglas Fisher back pass, trying to float up to Cheap, and just can't get the catch completed as Cheap was stride for stride right there. Xavier Williams with him, and yeah, I think he cramped up at the end of the play here as he's down on the sideline, and sure enough, I think cramped up. So it'll be 3rd and 14 on the incompletion. Cheap maybe had about at most a half step there. Would have been a tough catch. Just couldn't hold it in.
3rd down and 14 to go.
I think you're right, cramped up because they're working the leg here.
Oh yeah, all the guys are trying to stretch him out, and Gordon's going to check on him.
Yeah.
All right.
Got him off on the sideline. So there we go. As yeah, they're checking on Cheap. So 3:14 to go. Douglas Fisher takes the snap, fakes the handoff, rolls to the near side, looking to pass it. Instead has a pull it, makes man miss, makes the second man miss, gets across the 25 up to the 27. And a heck of a run there by Riley Douglas Fisher in some short space. He took a tough hit though on the end of that one. It was a little slow to get up.
Still down. He's going to have to be scooting his way out.
Yeah, that one was a rough hit at the end. I mean, not a dirty one by any chance, but just one where he's starting to fall to the ground. The tackler comes in, and they just collide. So he's definitely a little shaken from that. Well, they're stretching his legs, so maybe he cramped up too at the end. Goodness.
Man.
So gain's going to be officially 6 for Woodward on that run, though, by Douglas Fisher. As, yeah, I think he's good to go. Actually turned out to be a bit of a cramp. Makes sense why he's scooting. As he's coming up more than just a touch. Probably calling those nasty cramps. He's good to go, though, on the sideline. Probably means we'll see Cash Carter, or excuse me, probably see a punt as it is 4th and 8, and that's what the case will be.
You're going to see those bright green cleats out there, those neon cleats.
He's the only one, though, with that. There's a couple of
no, there's our long snapper also has them on.
I believe it's 44. We'll have to get on that.
You are. You're right.
Long to punt this one. Gets a good clean punt off. This one carrying a bit, but it's going to be returnable as Watson will field it beyond the 40, about the 38. He's got room on the far side. Cut it back across the 30, the 25. Now makes a man miss. Gets to the 20 and finally gets pushed out of bounds by the Boomers. Not before a big return there again by Tariq Watson.
Man, the big guy chasing him down, Bobby Kirk.
And 2 other Boomers
big man, hustle.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he lost him for a second. Then he kind of got stumbled up there and ended up finding his way down to make the tackle.
But Guthrie able to take over at the Woodward red zone, starting this drive at the 20. Back on comes the first string. As I guess Coach BB wants some extended practice for his guys. Calvert will be in the gun. Receiver to the near, receiver to the far. Zane Thomas in the backfield with Calvert. They'll motion around. Axel will take the end around. Not much room there. Mason Bourne tries to blow up. He'll be first contact. And a couple Boomers able to drag him down before Axel does get about 2 or 3 on that.
You know, good there by Mason Bourne as he was already caught up. Got away from his defender and ended up snagging down him and made the tackle.
And fought well on the outside there. That's what you want to see from
Brings up 2nd down and 7 yards to go.
Not many times you can get away from your defender and go make the tackle.
So it'll be a 2nd and 7. Guthrie obviously going to take their time here. Let the clock run down, as is a running clock. As Calvert will be in the gun. Receiver to each side. Doyle's going to be the H-back on the far side. Thomas in the backfield with Calvert, and they're going to hand off to Thomas inside. Has a hole up to the 10, the 5, and again races into the end zone. Zane Thomas from 17 yards out. That is another score for the sophomore. And Guthrie has broken 60 now on the Boomers. As the extra point tip goes up 2 plays there, 20 yards. And they'll call that 55 seconds on the drive. Extra point is going to be good, they'll say. So 62-0 here. Guthrie takes the lead with 1:37 to go in the third. We'll step aside real quick. You're listening to Boomer Football on Z92.
New federal guidelines have nearly doubled the number of Americans eligible for lung cancer screening. Insurance companies are required to cover these tests for those ages 50 to 80 who currently smoke or used to smoke. Along with new treatments, lung cancer screening saves lives. If you are 50 to 80 years old and smoke or used to smoke, talk to your doctor about lung cancer screening. For more information and to find a screening center near you, visit the National Lung Cancer Roundtable at nlcrt.org.
And welcome back here to Boomer Football on Z92. Bill Wagner and Tyler with you. Guthrie strikes again here in the third quarter, 62-0 now. They lead. Boomer's going to get back. They're winding the clock, though, as this kickoff going to be kicked probably about somewhere at the 30-second mark. Case Long back to receive for the Boomers. As it's marked off, there's the whistle. Guthrie sit now, points to his guys, the jog, and the kickoff coming. There it is, an end over under. Race Long going to have a chance to return it. Fields it right about the 10 midfield between the hashes. He'll take it up across the 20 now. Tries to get further than that, but going to run into some Guthrie defenders, and they'll push him out of bounds there on the far side. Looks like maybe got to the 20, maybe a yard short of that. We'll see where they'll officially mark it.
On the 18-yard line.
I believe they're going to say the 18, so didn't quite get to the 20.
You know, once they go over there on the visitor side, it's kind of hard to see exactly where the ball and who gets hit where and who gets struck down.
So it looks like Woodward might get a playoff here. There's 10 seconds to go in the quarter. Clock winding as it's running clock, and they might just take this into the fourth. And that's exactly what they're going to do, as Guthrie will take the lead into the fourth quarter, 62-0 over the Boomers. So we'll step aside, come back for the fourth. You're listening to Boomer Football on Z92. Okay, we'll keep it here real quick, as the Boomers will have it. First and 10 at their own 18 to start this fourth quarter. And we'll see how they kind of run things. They've been running that diamond set. And we'll see.
Coach Ken Gordon is still in the huddle down there, going over the plan with his guys. Man, Tyler, Guthrie Bluejays putting it on.
Yeah, they are. And see if Woodward can find some. They just have, I mean, offensively, you know, it's one thing leads to another on that. You could have what you feel like is a decent defensive performance when you're constantly having to defend short field. You know, it's just one of those deals. So it'll be Cash Carter coming out at quarterback. Instead, Ryan Douglas Fisher. He will still man that diamond formation, receiver on each side. Cash Carter takes snap, tried to hand off Ace Long, but couldn't, as a host of Blue Jays in. Monroney in there again. as well. Looks like got a new guy in there. 15, it looks like Trevion Braxton. The Bluejays in on the tackle as well. Loss of, looks like 3. Nope, loss of 5 now. Can't tell, he got the stick on the 20. I don't think that's right, but they gave it for 20. So we'll say loss of 5. As Woodward will again come out of that diamond set. Carter in the diamond with, looks like Colin Bourne down in the backfield. The receiver will take the snap, take the handoff now, roll out to the short side here, looking to throw, but he's under pressure, and that ball's out. It's a fumble, and Guthrie recovers, and they'll score for the touchdown. Josh Varnell recovers the loose ball, and it is a defensive TD for the Bluejays.
Wow. Just unfortunately, the pressure got to him, and it looks like he got drugged down by the arm. A lot of force, a big man coming at him, and Tyler, there's really nothing that he could do at that point besides try to protect the ball, but at that point, it just gets away from him.
It does. So that's going to make it 68-0 now, and Guthrie's going to try to go for 69 here on the extra point clock is running. 10:35 to go and counting down. As Guthrie waiting for this extra point. Trying to make sure everybody's on. It looks like they got rush player on late here. And so they've got their 11 now. And there's the kick. That one is going to be good on the extra point. So there it is. Guthrie takes the 69-0 lead here with 9:55 and counting down to go in the fourth quarter after the fumble recovery for a touchdown. Cash Carter had tried to escape on the edge and unfortunately turned it over there. And it just seems like one of those games, Dakota, where everything that can go wrong has gone wrong for the Boomers.
I feel like next week, even though this game has been decided, we're going to see a lot of adjustments. We're going to see, I think, maybe ball control. We're going to see maybe a little bit difference on that. There's a lot of changes that we can make. Minimal changes, too.
Yeah. The Guthrie defense has been advertised. Coach Beebe deciding to keep the ones in pretty much the entire game. So we'll see how this one finishes out with the last 9 minutes. It looks like Colin Bourne maybe back there. That might be Ben Cheat. Can't quite tell him the number yet. It's not Ace Long back to receive the kick as they've subbed him out.
Dawson Eckert back to receive the kick.
As Guthrie set to kick this one off. And there it is, an end over an ender. It's going to be a bit short. Going to be live ball. Somebody's got to jump on it for Woodward. It's on the ground and finally falling out there. Is the Boomer, is the back man. I'll see exactly the number. I believe that was Cheat, but I can't. Nope, might have been Dawson Heckert actually. That's what, yep, Dawson Heckert was the returner. So he'll fall on it for the Boomers here.
Tyler, it's almost like one of those things like, hey, okay, guys, what are we doing out there?
Yeah, and we'll see. And that's just kind of a weird kick, though, too, to be honest. I mean, that's one of those that I don't think it was intended to be like that, but it wound up being like that.
It's one of those where it comes to you, but you're not used to it coming to you, so you kind of panic a little bit, and then someone falls on it.
So Woodward takes over at their own 22. Cash Carter going to be the QB. Looks like Hecker going to be the running back to sign it. 2 receivers to the far, 3 receivers to the far, 1 to the near. As there's snap taken by Carter, he'll hand off there. Nope, it's Colin Bourne. Bourne going to get out to the far side, try to get some yards. Can't get back to the line of scrimmage.
Bourne on the carry.
He's going to be drugged down at the 19. It'll be a loss of 2.
Yeah,
loss of 3, excuse me.
Colin there just continues to cut back, trying to find his way around those outside guys on the edge, and tries to come back inside, but at those guys have met him, and he's already down.
For what it's worth, again, Guthrie sticking with the ones out there on defense, so I don't know what message they're sending. I guess they're trying to send something. 2nd and 13. Carter back to the gun. Two to the near, one to the far. He'll roll out, looking for the near side to pass. Had a man, it's Luke Parkhurst, but no, it's incomplete as Parkhurst was draped over there by Xavier Williams. And so that's incomplete out of Parkhurst's hands for a third down.
Third down, 13 to go.
Clock still scoots here on that running clock, so 3rd and 13 for the Boomers from their own 19. Trying to find a first down. 7:35 countdown.
Got trips to the near side and a single receiver to the far, it looks like.
That's Carter in the gun again. Wait for the snap. He'll get there. Low snap, corrals it. They go with a swing pass, and it's off the hands of Colin Bourne, and that's going to be their real backwards pass. He had to fall on it. He's going to lose a ton of yards as Bourne. See where they spot this one officially. It's going to set the 4th and long, it looks like, from the 12th. So a loss of 7.
Brings up 4th down and 13 to go.
And it'll be punting time for the Boomers. As Ace Long will come on.
Ace Long to punt the ball.
Play clock run down at 7. Ace out there ready to go, though. Back deep to return is the Watsons for Guthrie. This one going to be a high kick as they almost got to Ace. Going to angle it out to the sideline, though, and keep it away from the Watson returners. Guthrie, they're going to take over in Woodward territory again. 6:28 to go in the ball game. They lead 69-0. And we'll see if they continue to run the ones out there at this point.
Interesting, Tyler. Usually not seeing that from anyone else.
Not something you typically see out of high school football, much less a... Oh, and there comes the two. So it is the backups coming in.
6:25
and don't forget, our next varsity home football game is scheduled for Friday, September 15th, beginning at 7 p.m.
Imagine going to be some heavy six. Looks like 27 maybe going to be the quarterback there for the Blue Jays.
That is going to be Maddox.
And they'll push around here, handoff. Number 40 there for the Blue Jays, which will be Jose Rainwater, or Jace Rainwater, excuse me.
Bubba Hunter and Colt Moore in on that tackle.
And he
Maddox Vaughn.
Brings up second down.
Quarterback. Rainwater, though, losing 5 on the game. Probably a 10.
Man, Tyler, that moon is very bright and orange.
It
looks
is.
Like.
It is. Kind of a cool moon. And now in the gun here, Vaughn takes the snap on 2nd and 15. There's a handoff inside. As that's a good gain up to the 45 into Boomer territory. A late flag here as the runner was able to drag quite a few Woodward defenders as they'll help them up.
On the wrap-up there's going to be Colin Bourne and Jake Graff.
Runner Elijah Smith, the sophomore.
Excuse me, Cason Bourne. He's a little slow to get up.
Cooper
He's going to be
Feeder on that
tackle.
tackle.
For number 39 for the Boomers, that is going to be Caleb. No last name.
Okay. As we had a penalty on Guthrie on the run there. I believe a hold late as they'll mark it off. And push back to the 45, so, or to 50, excuse me, goodness. They marked it from the 45 is what I was trying to say. So they'll make it a, yeah, so 2nd and 15. Not sure if they marked it 5 because I'm not sure where they were at there. Still 2nd 15.
Whoa.
Snap way over the head of Vaughn. He's got to chase it back. It's back at the 20, still rolling, and he's going to have to fall on it for a large loss as that snap went far over his head. And so it's a big loss for Guthrie here on 2nd down.
Is that over a 30-yard loss there, Tyler?
That would be a 31-yard loss as they snap that from the 50.
The biggest loss of the night for the Blue Jays. Pinning them deep into Boomer territory.
Clock down to 4:45 in this one. Vaughn will be in the gun. 2 to the far, 1 to the near for the Blue Jays. Vaughn will tell him the play clock, takes the snap, able to handle it, hands it off there. And that's up the gut, a decent gain, across the 25 to the 26.
Colin Bourne on that tackle.
Elijah Smith.
Brings up 4th down.
So that's going to be a gain of 7, but it'll be a 4th down for the Blue Jays.
Looks like we are going to see the punting unit come out here for the Blue Jays.
So Boomers will get back just under 4 minutes to go after the punt.
Colin Bourne is back to receive.
Looks like maybe Dawson Heckert back to receive, or maybe Parkhurst. Nope, excuse me, that's Colin Bourne back to receive.
Colin Bourne, the freshman.
Let's see what he can do here as Axel's on the punt for the Blue Jays. And so he'll get under that one, not the longest punt. And bounces at the Guthrie 45 and rolls forward a yard or 2. That's going to be down there. And so Woodward going to take over in Blue Jay territory, it looks like, at the 47, maybe.
Let's see where the Marks ball here.
37 to go on 4th. Bourne's going to have, looks like maybe one foul drive.
Right around the 46, 47 yard line, like you were saying.
All right, so that's where they take over. 46, we'll call it official. Quarterback, Cash Carter going to be out there. It looks like Colin Bourne with him in the backfield. Receiver to the near, 2 to the far. And a tight end, Zane Leib on the far side. Carter going to roll out to that far side, look to pass, try to throw something short, and it's not there as that hits the ground. Was intended. Try and catch the number on that one. Looks like maybe for Heckert, Dawson Heckert, the intended receiver. So incomplete, 2nd down for the Boomers. As the clock continues to run out, under 3 minutes here in the ball game. In the gun, going to be Carter. Bourne with him. Carter back to pass, has some time, going to fire over the middle, but that's way high there as he was intending for Parkhurst. And Parkhurst collects some damage on it as well.
Incomplete pass.
Looks like that Guthrie defense continuing to essentially run the ones. Now starting to get a couple of substitutions. So it's going to be 3rd and 10 all with the 2 incompletions.
Yeah, Tyler, and we're going to have 2:15 and counting on the clock here in the 4th quarter left.
Guthrie still running that first team defense out there for the most part. 3rd and 10. Clock at 2 minutes now. Carter in the gun. Plenty of time on the play clock. 2 to the near, 1 to the far. He'll take snap, roll to the near side, the short side. Now he's just going to tuck it and run. Has some room upfield. Gets to the 40 and gets tripped up there and taken down. Good open field tackle by Guthrie. And it'll bring up a 4th down, but a 4th and short here, if you will, for the Boomers. As they've got to get to about the 36-yard line, looks like. Maybe the 37.
Gonna have a minute and 30 on the clock.
So that was a gain of about 6 for Carter. They spot it on the 40 exactly. Minute 15 on play clock, 4th down for the Boomers, and they're going to punt, it looks like, as they slung on for the short punt.
Wow.
That one's a boot. Trying to corner cough it, and ooh, let's see where they mark that one out. They say touchback? I think they will. That was close, though. It was near that pylon. I think they did call the touchback.
They're going to call it a touchback for sure.
Heck of an effort, though, by Ace. That's a tough one to try to pin down there.
I mean, that was a beautiful kick high in the air, just unfortunately went a little too far. Just a touch.
So Guthrie takes over about 55 seconds. I'm sure just going to run maybe a play or 2.
You know, while we're just have the time, something that we have never had at Woodward High School, a mascot.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. He got kind of introduced pregame. Boomer officially. Describe him a little bit for us, Dakota.
So, I mean, he has the nice little black hat. Then he has the little vest, the cowboy vest, followed by the black long undershirt, the black jeans, the leather, what do you call them, leather boots that he has on down there, and then he has the nice golden Boomer mustache.
There you go. So definitely come out and see Boomer if you want to at one of the Boomer home games, as that is going to be the ball game. Guthrie does not have to run a play after the punt, and that will be officially Blue Jays advancing to 2-0 with a 69-0 win here over the Boomers on Woodward's home opener. And with that, we'll step aside for break, come back with some post-game wrap, and get you along the way and set up for what's next for the Boomers. You're listening to Boomer Football here on Z92.
1 in 4 people have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also an actor and advocate for disability inclusion across all aspects of life. The disability community is passionate, strong, powerful. We have so much to offer and deserve to be included in society. We've got a trusted ally by our side. H.R. Seals is delivering services, advocacy, and local supports that elevates communities for everyone.